last time you were just being invited in by
A lovely lady's house.
into her home.
In the
What happened before that?
Death Forest.
There was a death
blood tree forest.
a red, warm to the touch, sticky death forest surrounding this green lady's house on a little hill.
Itty bitty hill.
So after we killed the winged, baby-faced, screaming things.
Yes.
Yeah, you did meet some horrible sausage-headed baby-faced.
Oh, they were great.
Some Adventure Time harpies.
It's vegetarian.
That's true. You guys didn't even see the bad token I had to draw of the evil. And you also found some shoes as well, which you haven't identified, but they are in the...
No time to waste.
They have a picture now.
I'll show you. Hey, in this economy, shoes are at a premium.
Gucci.
Is that true?
I mean, I have no idea.
No, neither do I though. So I guess neither of us know.
I mean, the only one that we know for certain wears shoes is Win, because we can see his shoes in.
Oh yeah, that's true, in the frame.
So you don't. So he doesn't need them, is what you're saying. 'Cause he already has them. Now that makes sense.
That hurts me.
We only know he wears one shoe.
Oh, that's
No,
true.
It's on his kicking foot.
Yeah, it's an iron shoe for kicking harder with.
Weighted shoes. Weighted training shoes.
There's no way to like a lock a thing.
Oh no, he's taking off his weighted belt.
He's weighted belt on. Weighted belt. So because I mean, a weighted belt that's like holding your trousers up.
Exactly.
It's very funny.
Exactly.
It's secured by the weighted belt
It's
loops.
on so tight. Your legs are like they have no circulation.
This plate weighs 300 kilograms.
Takes his belt off. He could move so fast because
His trousers fall down.
his trousers do fall down.
Break through the ground.
Why is it-
Oh, because we're fucking idiots. I think it might be it, or geniuses. Right. Okay. So everyone's present and correct, I assume.
Yes.
I'm present. I don't know if I'm correct or not.
Everyone's going to roll a D100.
Only
Why?
so-
T-posed
you-
into the sky.
You can roll a D100 if you want, but I'm not going to tell you what it means.
Oh,
Oh, 50 down the middle.
down
Oh,
the
that's
middle.
That's pretty.
Oh, great job,
Thanks.
Malin.
Why are
26.
you rolling 2DF? Are you gonna fight?
I was just clicking on the fudge dice button, and I was like, what does
Sam,
that do?
I'm really sorry you had the most boring roll out of it. What you could
For
roll.
50, hey.
50 is the most exciting roll. What
I
are you
don't think I've
talking
ever
about?
seen a 50.
1 or 100 of the best rolls.
Well, obviously they're the most fun, potentially.
Or one, if everyone's
The
like...
Tarask is on the 100 for the urban combat encounters in Xanathar's.
Oh, sweet.
Really?
Yeah, it's just like, I think it's on like the highest level tier of it as well, but
Okay.
it's just like, I guess a Tarask comes out the ground in the middle of town, and then you're dead.
And then the town's gone and you're dead.
That sounds like a good way to derail a one-year campaign and kill everyone for no reason.
Yeah,
Like, oh, that was a great session, DM. I loved it.
it's cool. Well, then you just run away. Anyhow, so yeah, this lady who introduced herself as, I believe, Hild, is offering. Is she's standing at the door to her home? The door is about like 20 feet tall. I think I said something along those lines. And she herself is very tall as well, about like 7 to 8 feet tall. Kind of tall.
I mean, Fernbrand fucking loves this, because this is a woman who also knows about herbs and stuff. And she seems very
you haven't asked
inviting.
about herbs, but
So-
she's interested in gathering them.
Oh,
We saw the scarecrow outside, didn't we?
Yeah, the scarecrow outside was tending to a little flower garden around the back
Yeah,
with
they
a
were
pair of
useful.
scissors.
Really must say, how do you make these? I point one of the things.
What, to the scarecrow?
Yeah. I saw them once, and they seem very useful in collecting all kinds of herbs, which is something I dabble in myself. I mean, you know, just kind of...
Are you entering as this is as you're saying this, or are you still standing outside?
I'm standing outside pointing at the thing.
And she looked around. Oh, did you, you met him, did you? Yes, he's quite handy though. Not as smart as he used to be, I'm afraid. Perhaps I can show you if you're interested, though probably not now. Now may not be the time.
Oh, well, sure, yeah. I think it would be very useful than going alone into a dangerous forest.
Yeah, she's gone inside and the door is open now.
I follow in.
I'm going in there.
I assume
this is,
everyone goes in.
That's more hospitable than the last time.
What's the house made of? As I like.
The outside is painted white. It's hard to tell if it's. You can't tell. Or make a perception check.
I look at the door frame.
Sure. Yeah. I will.
As I go in. What check?
Perception, I suppose, unless you have something that you would think would be. I think that's probably the most.
Yeah, perception investigation, really.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Perception's better for me.
Oh no. It's a white house. The door frame is made out of wood.
It's made of house.
It's a house. It's a painted white with a wooden frame and a wooden door, and the roof is made out of like thatch somehow, some sort of thatch. You're not overly familiar with.
What's it look like?
Is there anything red in it on the
outside?
On the outside.
Not that you notice. No.
Are there any smells?
From the door, you can smell. There's cheese. There's a as the door is open. There's a sort of what's the word? There's a smell wafting out from inside. It's kind of botanical. I would say, not unpleasant, but not like food. Okay, so stepping inside, I shall show you the note that has the picture. Let me just check. Yes, okay. Show to everyone. It's a little round room with a very high ceiling, no upstairs as far as you can tell, with dried plants hanging from strings from above. There's the chimney on the side where this large stone stove sits with a chimney that goes up and then turns into the center, so the chimney is coming out of the middle of the roof at the top.
Oh, you've got a lovely place, Hild. Are you here on your own?
Hang on, is there any other description I need to basically, any other description is there's a load of stuff everywhere. There's like piles of paper and
great
little bags.
I'm drawn to the presumed glowing thing on the table.
And in the middle of the room there is a tall chair with a table and a glass ball sitting in the middle that when the light catches it through the window shines quite brightly. Apart from the fellow, the old stick outside, yes, I live here alone.
Well, that must be terribly lonely.
It has its moments of boredom, I must say. Pleasure to meet. What is your name? Sorry, yes, very rude to me.
Oh, everyone calls me Miss Fernbrand.
A lovely name, and she looks at everyone else.
I'm Orion.
Orion.
Yeah.
Very nice to meet you, Ryan.
Balin, pleased to make your acquaintance.
Neil, did you say Yaz, by the way? That's the name you gave her. Okay, yes.
Are there any chairs?
There doesn't appear to be any chairs, but I assume you're looking around. Are you looking around?
Yeah, I think we're all
awkwardly
just sort of
standing
like,
in the middle of the room.
I'm afraid I'm not used to entertaining so many guests.
That's all right.
And she has a stick with a ball on the end of it. She taps it on the ground, and from a pile of paper explodes out, and a bunch of stools slide out behind you.
Oh, how useful!
Well, that's
they're quite small, but they'll sit down. Sam and Tombstone, are you guys going to give your names?
Sure.
you don't have to.
But begrudgingly.
She doesn't see. She gives you a curt nod when you say your name, Win. But you were rude already, so.
I was. That's true.
You're a rude dude. I guess since everyone else has done, I will also greet her as the name's Encadidus. Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure. What are you, good sir? I've never met someone quite like you.
How do I get? I mean, I could say that I'm Dragonborn, but like that's not gonna. I mean, I guess like my race goes by the name of Dragonborn. That's what I'd probably accept.
Well, that's very interesting. Perhaps we can have a discussion about that at length at a later date, perhaps.
Say, Hild,
okay.
You look, you're a green elf?
She sort of laughs in response to that. Oh, no. have never, in fact, even met an elf. I'm assuming, though, that today may be a first. And she looks at Wynn with that.
You look very elven yourself, although obviously very tall.
Oh, yeah, how tall is she again? She's very tall, isn't she?
She's like 8 feet, 7.5. It's kind of her height is.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to because she's wearing like a sort of a robe over, so she might be sort of hunched over more than she appears. I'll get a picture of her as well. I know she's on the map there.
Also, like
I'll
my
get a
mum,
picture.
it's hard to tell.
Everyone
Kinda, yeah.
skims the half-breeds.
So very sorry. Hard to. I must say, I haven't much experience with the elven people. Though myself, if you're wondering for my resemblance, as she points at her ears, we are perhaps distantly related.
Probably. How long have you been living here?
But before all that, you must think of me terribly rude. And she, please have we shall have some tea and a lovely snack.
I'm good.
She gets you don't have to offer it, but she takes she goes to the stove and she puts a kettle on the fire next to this cauldron, which is from what you can tell the smoke is and the smell is coming from.
What's the time?
How long has it been since?
It's like 1 or 2, wasn't it?
It's mid afternoon, so like 2:00. Yeah. How long? Must be a couple of centuries at least. You wouldn't think it, of course, to look at me.
Centuries.
No.
Perhaps 5?
5.
You say you've not met elves, but wasn't there elves on this continent in the past?
Now the past is a strange, strange land, of course. Yes, once upon a time there was many an elf to be found in Gueladwen, but these days not so many. Not many whites around, of course, until you lot have arrived.
Since I've been talking to her a bunch, and kind of
Sure.
can I roll an insight to just kind of get a general feel of her character? Is that a thing I can do?
Sure, you can. Maybe if you have any specific questions about that, then that would be a helpful direction. But yeah,
I guess the question would be in a sense of whether she seems to be putting on an act, or it's just kind of generally.
Right. Yeah, you can. Yeah, insight. I'll be happy for that. She seems perfectly reasonable, perfectly nice.
Great.
She's giving you some, a lovely. She has a kettle and she's produced from a cupboard. As she opens it, a rat runs out. Oh, blasted things! And she pulls out some cups. I suppose I should probably. And she taps it, and the cups suddenly are cleaned as she casts some sort of spell on them to remove any layers of dust.
Oh.
And use pet pal and talk to the rat.
You
don't have to
If you kill it, you get all the XP for the quest it had.
Nice.
Yes, that's classic.
Just kill all the animals. Which is fucking
I'd ask.
It's the best strategy in Divinity Original Sin 2. Kill every animal, you get all the quest XP. It's so good.
I hadn't known that.
Ryan, you have a question.
I'd be going. You seem awfully calm for letting sort of heavily armed people into your house. I don't know if you don't mind me asking.
She puts a cup of tea in front of you as you are asking this. She lays out in front of all of you. The cups are they're kind of rugged. They're not very nice, but they have like little lips to them on the side. They're mildly nice, but they're not like fine china.
Why didn't anybody take Gourmand?
But yeah,
You're trying to convince me to get it.
I did a couple times.
I happily drink from it.
You have no.
Well, since
No
she seems
ill
like a
feelings
nice
towards me,
character,
surely.
I will definitely drink from it as well.
That's fine. It's sort of a minty tea from what you can taste. Seems fine.
Nice.
That's very nice. I actually really like making tea myself. I make a lot of tea for my mum, and I could make you some too. I think I'm not too bad at it.
I'm hosting today, but
I know. That's just.
I'd happily pay you a visit in your home, and perhaps a later day. But to Orion, you don't mean me any harm, surely?
No, we don't. It's just you're awfully kind out from the outset. That's just.
It's just everything we've been interacting with from,
It's the individuals that we've met already.
Poor you. A true shame.
Well, including your pets, you might add.
I for that I must apologise. It's standing orders, I suppose. Although it did seem rather angered, more so than usual. Did one of you say something to it? That it has a little bit of a mind of its own, though I do exert my will over it somewhat.
I think it was Elvish, right?
See, 1 second, sorry.
Didn't we try to communicate with it in Elvish, Yas?
It said a name.
It did say name.
Oh. What did it say?
Don't remember.
I believe I told you, but it was also
Anid.
only you. It was Anid something. You didn't hear the rest of it.
Thirth? We did once it was clear.
Oh, that's right. It's something like that. Yeah.
We meet again. Yeah.
But yeah, Yaz did read the thing.
I think it may have confused it for someone else.
Yes, it has no real intelligence, just reacting to stimuli. I perhaps something in.
Why would it understand Elvish if there's been no elves here?
Not for a long time, but once there were many, of course.
So you were here with the elves, with the creature you made?
Oh, it was.
Now we're getting into
Well, she
slightly
just said
more
she
complicated
hadn't
territory.
seen them yet, right?
She's
Apologies.
She did just say that, but her pet did. And
The pet, yeah. The tell you what, I'll tell you a little story that hopefully will have some answers for you. In
West Gwilydwen, born and raised.
in return for a small price, and she's looking at Yaz now.
There it is. There's the catch.
Information is a great commodity, and you would not deny me a small fee, surely.
No, we've definitely had a price paid for exchange of information already.
What would the price be? No merchant makes a sale without knowing what he gets in return.
They're very reasonable. Forgive me if this sounds somewhat unpleasant, but a drop of blood or two, maybe. It's hard to explain the ways of my magic, but a small injury would be enough to help me access through my arcane arts the stories, this ancient lore. Again, I hold much information, but it is difficult to access without some catalyst, as it were.
And you need our blood as a catalyst.
Not from all of you, just from one. That'll be perfectly reasonable. Though the one who asks the question, of course. These are ancient rules, all tied up in tradition and semantics, I'm afraid.
Does this?
Can I insight that? Because I don't.
Go nuts.
I'm not sure how truthful she's being there.
I mean, when you know absolutely dick all about how magic works.
Right, but more for tone or how she was presenting that information.
She might be getting a hold of it for some magical reason that may not be exactly, because she's basically said, "I need it to remember,"
Which might not be the case.
That might not be the case.
Yeah, that I'm not exactly gifted in the arcane in any sense, but what you've described sounds like a process, not a price. If the blood is just for the information, what do you get out of this?
Oh, a certain degree of magical power, of course. Just a component for some of my, and she waves at the parts of some of my little collections, my creations, my spells, etc. Again, you have nothing to hear from me.
Why can't you use don't mind me asking, your own blood?
Or there's a forest full of goblins nearby.
The blood, for this particular purpose, it is you who would like the answers, no?
Sure.
Then you must pay.
Does this have anything to do with the covenant of sorts?
Pardon?
Covenant.
All right, what are you saying, Fred?
Covenant. Is that a? Perhaps I know something. Would you be willing to pay?
Well,
if you excuse us, we could have a talk.
Scooby huddle.
Yeah, let's have a huddle. Let's huddle, boys.
If you're gonna do it, she might seem a bit offended by that, but you could definitely scoot into a corner of this little building and try and speak quietly to each other. Yes.
Forgive our caution, but the last being we spoke to seemed quite friendly at first, and then told us it couldn't let us live at the end. So,
what would I gain from your deaths? No. We can benefit from each other much more if we are on friendly terms.
Well, our deaths would give you a hell of a lot of blood, wouldn't it?
That is very true, yes, but blood only goes so far, and there are other things that I may want.
Like bones.
You say
No, everyone, don't be too.
No, I would
she's
say
been
that.
perfectly
No, I didn't think you
so
would.
far.
Yes, thinks that.
Yes, definitely thinks it. Oh, don't take thoughts. No.
I think it. I wouldn't mind too much.
strikes me.
well-
We still don't know what we're really bargaining, but
If anyone's willing to, who desperately needs questions, then I guess it's up to them.
Well, I wouldn't say desperately needs questions, but it would just be nice to have a friend who knows the land well, and she said she's gonna show me how to make these scarecrows, so that's very useful. So I wouldn't mind helping her in her own research. And then, for a second, Fernbrand kind of stops as she talks and thinks about some stuff. It's like, what exactly can you find out with people's blood?
I can only tell you what I have seen and know, but again, my knowledge spans for several centuries, and I certainly have the most arcane source of knowledge that you will find for many miles.
I see.
We're walking around this island blind. I don't mind offering some of my blood if we can think of a worthwhile question.
Oh, would you be so kind to do that as well? For some reason, Fernbrand kind of went of 180 thinking about. I guess it would show our good intentions, for certainly.
She would probably also point out, you can ask as much as you'd like, though the price will have to be paid in kind for each question, of course. I have no desire to hold out information from you that you'd like, but again, a price must be paid. Magic does not come free.
Is this a one question per person basis, or is
As long as you give, if you give me what I need, then you can ask as much as you'd like. Though, again, I have no intention to drain you dry.
Okay.
Well, as I said, I said to the group, my points. I don't mind. I'll do it.
Well, we need a suitable question.
Yeah, if there's a, I'm not gonna
take your time. Again, it is important. The wording can sometimes matter. I do not wish to cheat you, of course, but just do be careful when dealing with these things.
Well, I think one thing that's very interesting to us. I'm just saying that to the group, not to her, of course.
Sure. I mean, okay, you guys are trying to. You're having a sneaky in the corner.
I would keep her engaged.
Okay, sure.
I would hand her the letter in common. You know, the one that we had before.
Okay,
sure.
And I'd get her to read that while sipping on the tea while you guys talk. You know,
showing it to her in common, she actually seems to struggle reading it for a bit. Like she's, I must say, it's been a long time since I've seen this script. Would you help me, young man?
Sure, I can help.
Thank you.
I do have it in Elvish, if that would be better.
Yes, perhaps that would actually help. So yeah, you guys gotta go through it.
I think one thing that would be very interesting to know is what happened to the people in the place where people live right now. We still don't really know what befell them.
I think, well, that's interesting historically. I think it's most pertinent we find out who exists currently on this continent and where they are.
That's the most
That's
pressing
also a
thing.
very good idea. Yes, maybe where the stone bridge leads to.
Yeah,
Right.
what's up the
Yeah, so
the
a question about that is definitely probably on the agenda. She must know something about those statues. I don't like them either.
Yeah.
Seems like they're our biggest hurdle at the moment.
Orion had some very bad things with that going on. Orion, you seem to have a very bad luck with this island, I feel. You keep finding just weird stone tablets and statues.
Ryan has bad luck in general.
Oh.
Yeah.
Also, just to remind you guys of some things, there's also the index.
Yes.
I forgot what's that again?
That's
the
big
building,
library we
the
got
locked
in.
building. Yeah, the
right.
magically locked building.
Magical building.
It's-
Yeah, that
sounds
Never's
like,
looking after.
There is, of course, the horrible thing that scarred Orion.
If she's arcane, she'd definitely be aware of that place.
Yeah.
She's probably tried to break in.
Probably tried to break it.
Probably, yes. Well,
I can't be in the conversation.
I think
Yeah.
I mean, actually, yeah, to be fair, I probably
You would know because you've been with it.
isn't really one for sneaking around and so I would probably just, I guess, go over to her as well. I probably wouldn't.
Sure.
yeah, it's
be like-
fine. But it's the idea.
You're
still stands
preparing for
that
to
Yeah.
give you a blood.
I think what Wynn said, understanding where other beings live and where they are and what's even in this location. So far, we could only travel by foot, but I'm sure there's much more out there.
I mean, what happened to the settlement on the coast? Where does the bridge go? What happened to the elves? That's 3 questions.
We could potentially, there's obviously a link of whatever happened to make them leave might still be here.
Yeah.
That's the.
Well, we gotta decide on a phrase and something we want to ask.
Potentially the axe of the dog as well. We have the sword.
That's
and the shield.
true.
It was an
I
axe.
suppose
It's worth bearing in
that's
mind
true.
anything we learn, she learns at the same time. Potentially.
She knows that you know about it. If she, as well, I get you.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, I guess, how far the first question brings us, and then see whether that's enough, and maybe we can ask a bit more. She may just need a vial of blood or something.
Yeah, if she starts trying to extract my organs, I'm gonna say no, guys.
No.
I just need
So
one
what
of
are we
the
asking first?
secondary hearts.
Let's ask a question over the bridge.
We don't have 2 hearts.
Dragonborn definitely have redundant organs.
Yeah, they've got redundant horns.
So what,
Hey, they're
where does
very
the bridge
useful.
go?
Play Space Marines.
Yeah, that's why they can breathe
Bottle
fire.
openers, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You chuck a
no-
Dragonborn into space, it's gonna sweat Marmite.
That's why no Dragonborn ever wears a helmet.
Exactly. Okay. So when you guys are sort of preparing, she would address to Enceladus. So you will offer yourself up for this. Thank you. Thank you very much, young man. Thank you. And she gets up and
fine.
she grabs from the side. There's basically what looks like a cutting board with a dagger stuck in it.
Oh, nice.
And she pushes the crystal ball on the table slightly to the side and places this down. When she places it down, you see that the cutting board has sort of grooves cut into it, so that coming from the center where the dagger is stuck. Now, do bear in mind that your pain is part of it, so don't try and be too brave. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, excuse me?
That's
Part of the price is it's the blood and it's the experience of its harvest. I shall say. I assure you, it brings me no pleasure.
Yeah, right.
I didn't think it did until now.
dear.
Okay,
What is
so
this happening? Can I go over and try and search, for any kind of writing?
You can make a stealth check and an investigation check. Yes.
I just want to look for any kind of script.
Okay, sure. Are you going to be doing it sneakily, or are you just going to look around?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think it also sounded like kind of an observing rather than ruffling through people's stuff.
No, sure.
kind of
Okay, a
thing,
perception
right?
check then.
Yeah.
Okay, you are definitely stealthy.
Oh, fucking rummage.
Nice. Not good.
Get rummage.
Rummage with advantage because you're hidden. You
Okay,
don't
so
have to- you can
my
rummage with
investigation sucks, so
Okay, well.
Well, that's why I have
okay.
advantage. Now it's going to be
Plus
so
5.
much better.
Oh, the rolls are so slow.
I know. It's
It is too busy up just destroying the site.
Yeah. To be fair, gifts and stuff might make it slower.
Well,
anyway.
It's not usually this though.
It's probably just workload, as it were. A lot of people using it. Anyway.
Map is big.
Okay, so you're looking through, for example, like the stacks of paper and stuff, right? Looking for things.
Yeah.
The first thing you find a book. First thing.
Evil Blood Ritual.
And
Sorry.
looking at the book, the pages inside appear to be full of gibberish, like scrawling, essentially.
Okay.
No language you recognize, and from what you know, there's no way that could be a language.
Oh.
Like, it looks like it's just scribbles, which is weird. You also come across, when looking around, you see there's actually what you can definitely realize to be magical things around that she has. In terms of script, though, you notice some Sylvan written down on a jar.
That's what I was looking for.
You do find Sylvan.
That's cool.
Which is weird because that's a wood elf language specifically. But the jar is labeled. It's like a pickle jar kind of. It's filled with a liquid, and it has something quite desiccated floating in it. And in Sylvan, it reads finger, or fingers more specifically.
Nice.
Seems fresh out of them.
Pickled fingers, yummy.
Nice.
How much of the stuff can I literally just swipe from the table and into my pants? Since that's the only thing I can.
Oh boy.
Well, it would be difficult to smuggle a big pickling jar into your trousers.
not the pickle jar.
But you could definitely grab like a loose piece of paper, for example.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you want to make a roll to swipe something, more what is it you're swiping? If you're not like being if you're swiping with no discrimination, roll a d20.
My God, the look on all our faces if a winner was to pull out a jar that said fingers written on it.
Guys, look at this.
Look what I've got.
now. Right, so roll me a d20.
Sure.
Hey, you want to swipe something? Okay.
That's a number.
You swipe an envelope, which appears to have something in it.
Ooh.
Good. We'll find out later.
Toenails.
Yeah.
Seeing as this is going to involve appear to at least involve some bloodletting, I would definitely be looking her up and down any exposed skin for like signs of scars or cuts.
Okay. I guess make a perception or like a medicine check if you're looking for like actual like injuries, as it were. Probably medicine.
But Balin, are you checking her out?
She's got legs that are very long. She seems to be
Legs are going for days.
Tall lady fetish.
she has spotless skin. She is completely uninjured. She doesn't appear to have any signs of like warts or moles. Completely green all over. That is visible at least.
Okay.
Okay. So she gestures to Engelus to put his hand, or she would take you by the hand and guide your hand into the middle of this chopping board, as I'm going to call it.
Yeah.
For no special reason. And she looks at you. You can't really see her eyes because she's got a lot of hair in the way.
But finger.
She looks at you as if if her eyes were behind where her hair is. If she can see your eyes, you can't see hers. Essentially. Okay. And she says, "Are you ready to ask your question? As soon as you ask, I will begin."
Well, before that, you said put a drop of blood, right?
Just a drop, yes.
That doesn't inflict pain, usually.
I may have understated the amount required. Not even a cup. It's more about the act than the actual material.
Just whisper to Engelus. She's got a fucking jar of pickled fingers, just FYI.
I'm gonna make a perception check for her to see if she hears that. Oh.
Just a jar of fucking fingers, mate.
Actually, no. Yeah. Actually, she. When you whisper that, she says, "That is a greater price. Of course, if you wish to pay, then perhaps we can talk some more in-depth, greater knowledge, perhaps something
I got 2 kidneys.
deeper secrets."
Like,
And
one for
any of these things, of course, would be very would be appropriate. I offered blood as it is perhaps the most agreeable.
Okay.
Do we know about evil magic?
I was about to
this
ask.
is like
So-
this is like kid's story number one.
This sounds
right?
like
You definitely know that if you said, "Hey, what are you?" she would say, "Oh, I'm a witch." At this point, basically, yeah, you know that witches do evil stuff and eat children and all this.
I wanna know,
Cool.
as like Fernbrand and the whole herbalism stuff, and that
Sure.
kind of goes hand in hand, which is, can you just kind of figure out, I mean, or roll, I guess, for it, but I'm like, this may not be such a great idea kind of thing.
Give me a history check
Yeah,
for witch stuff.
Which stuff roll?
Ooh, okay.
Oh, nice.
So witches occasionally turn up. They're more common than, for example, chimeras and that sort of thing, and manticores. They appear in the woods, not so much in like Ramstead, which is a very nice part of Gavel where you're from, but they are a thing that occasionally happens, and usually they are either burned and run out, or they just disappear essentially. But historically, they practice magic, and they're evil, but in a sort of if you cross them, or if you don't realize what you're giving them kind of way. They're not gonna like cut your throat. They want to get as much out of you, and if they can offer you something in return to get that, then they would find that more preferable than fighting, for example.
Say, Miss Hill, do you happen to be a witch, perchance? I'm sorry if that is rude. assuming.
Yes, I am the witch of this wood.
Oh.
And she gives you a little bow. That doesn't. You don't find that disagreeable, do you?
Well, I like to think that I rather believe what I see with my own eyes rather than, just stories about certain kinds of people.
It is certainly a shame when people assume the worst.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna hold my arm out, and I'm gonna ask
One at a time, please.
Miss Hill, do you know anything, or perchance are you related to sort of a long-limbed lady who rides
Frightful
among
face,
in the sea?
eyes, slick black hair. Ah, yes, poor Geth, yes. And she looks at your face. Was that her?
It was indeed, yes.
I'm very. Hold right there. She gets up quickly and she rummages through. Geth, very poor, jealous Geth. She pulls out a little vial and she blows some dust on it. Apply this every day for 3 days, and that should be gone as if it was never even there.
Oh, thank you.
An
Thank you so
apology.
much.
Yes, she. In answer, she is my sister.
Oh.
another witch.
Is she not as homely as you are?
Much more disagreeable. Yes, you want nothing to do with her. Believe me.
Well, that's very nice of you.
She shouldn't offer you any particular danger.
I'm surprised you gave this.
Orion remembers nearly getting his face ripped off and bleeding to death, but
It was,
well, very much
well, thank you so much.
Sure. I'm surprised you didn't ask for something in return.
that was a sign of good faith, a little apology. You already had it, of course, as well.
Right.
Of course,
you
if
and your
you want
sister
to
get
know
on.
more about that, then I'll have to ask for a little payment. But
Right.
private affairs, of course. Anyhow,
The the demon and devil cults in Ors, is there any link to witches with them? Would I've known that through?
Give me a history.
So not the witch to live.
Except for not the witch to live.
A history, did you say?
Yes, please.
Balin part witch.
Yeah.
Half orc, half elf.
You know that in Ors, any magic practitioner that wasn't part of the church would have been, if not actively, tracked down, they would have been treated with suspicion. You can't imagine. It's not really something that you've heard a lot about. Certainly not this kind of a witch. There's not like tales of gingerbread house witches for Ors. No.
No. Okay.
And Calidus.
Yes.
And everyone, and I say this full well in like her shot. If there is a price to pay, and some forms of magic can be used for more darker things, if we have a question, it should be something urgent and important. I don't think we should be frivolous asking questions that we may find through our own discoveries.
What a sincere young man. But I cannot argue against the wisdom of it.
What would be a pressing question? Something which may be a threat or benefit us more immediately.
Well, anything in terms of current threats, we've got the Merry Me man, the
oh yes, that's coming
hobgoblins.
What's threatening about him?
That is like that's only like a week away or something, isn't it?
Because if I were to tier the threats,
midwinter day,
the Merry Me guy is on top of the hobgoblins, right?
So also, if you remember, the line stops here as well.
Because what's stopping Merry Me guy just running in and slaughtering us all in our sleeps?
We are.
That's pretty much.
That might.
I suppose, what do you know of the white in the woods is probably a safe question.
I mean, maybe we know the folklore of those things, but we may be able to ask a way to defend ourselves. But that may be not pertinent enough.
I suspect you won't give anything away for Freehill, but do you know to whom we're referring?
All of the local fellows, I have knowledge of them. Yes, certainly for many miles, as I say. Though I haven't travelled for some few years, much further from my little neck of the woods, as it were. But certainly I can give you information about anyone that you've met locally. And again, please, I have no intention to trick you into giving into. I will pay you for what you give.
May we leave?
Well, yes. Why, though, that would be quite. I am quite enjoying our little chat. But if you
too,
want to leave, the door is there. Though I suspect information is something that you want, and I am certainly your best bet.
We don't have to ask everything we want now, but a question
you know
or two,
where
I
live,
suppose.
Of course. My door is always open for a deal.
I expect you know where we live.
She sort of taps the crystal ball. I have an idea.
We don't live in there.
I think it's magic stuff.
She thinks you're joking, so she thinks it's funny too.
8 intelligence.
Wait, is that really a crystal ball? The whole crystal ball scrying thing, that's real? That's not a kid story?
What did you hear as a child? I have sight through it, of course. You need not worry yourself with that.
So you're able to discern information to faraway places?
If the mood takes me.
Oh, I've got something similar. I've got a book, and if I write into it, the other person can see a message. Where's the other book?
You have some talent, then. I see. Yes, perhaps you and I can get more acquainted, then, in the future.
Yeah, that would be great. I can bring my own tea leaves next time.
Though you're a little old, but I'm always willing to give it a shot. She sort of says that to herself, not really looking at you when she does that.
Fern just kind of her head a bit to the side, not really getting what she's talking about. I'm not that old.
I honestly believe that our best question, the most pertinent to now, and what would probably give us the most information in the short term, would be asking for as much information as we could on the hobgoblins.
Yeah.
Because we know very little about them, and they seem to be the largest organized thing in this region.
Yeah, because they're looking to make peace with just things in general.
Anything else would be questions that we're already researching answers for. We're already exploring, we've already got people searching the coastline, we already have Nebo working on the index, and he says that, I mean, we've worked with him in Kalidas, and he's coming on pretty good there.
That's true. I guess it would be better to know about the hobgoblins rather than finding that out when they attack us or something.
Yeah.
I guess we see how this goes then. We
think-
might have more questions after.
Do you think that question is worth your discomfort? Kalidas?
Oh, you might be muted.
He is. Samuel is.
Motherfucker.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude.
How?
I'm so sorry.
Every time.
By any
don't just
chance,
ignore you, man.
were you going to use your divine sense by any chance?
Oh, you did. I mean, I did it on her anyway before, didn't I? Last session.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
Yeah, I think it
I've only got one left, so I wouldn't have done it. No, it's fine. I was saying a couple of bits, but nothing too major. It's fine.
Sorry, dude.
Oh, give us.
Obviously-
No, Sam, you got to give us the top 10.
Well, I don't know how long I've been muted for, so.
Since you walked over and put your hand down.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I was mostly. I don't know. It's fine. At this point, whatever. I don't care. Fuck it.
I'll pitch you right up.
Stupid fucking Discord.
Well, you'll be asking the question, so she'll be talking to you, so you can ask any follow-up things to her as well. Because again, she's gonna give you your blood's worth.
I'm not the smartest. I'm inclined to agree with the group on what we think on this.
Well, we may as well try it once.
I just think there's mysteries here that are greater than hobgoblins.
It would be nice to know what we should be going for. Maybe things we don't know about yet. Because there's the known unknowns, but then there's the unknown unknowns.
Whoa.
How do you ask that question?
Fuck knows. I'm not.
I'm not smart.
Tell us about everything we don't know.
Oh boy.
She would probably give you an answer, though you might not like the cost.
It's going to be at least 10 children.
At least.
Well, I just want to know what sentient things are here that we can go and chat to that we haven't already chatted to.
That could be good. We could figure out if we could make any allies from that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe those people can be asked more easily about stuff rather than having to give your blood to them, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, we could just ask what's the most pressing local threat to us.
She has also claimed to have arcane knowledge of many things, so facts beyond just directly what's happening now may be within her purview.
If you're willing to stomach the knife, I mean, let's ask a question.
Stomach is probably unnecessary.
I'd rather not get a knife to the stomach. They're not the most pleasurable experiences.
Meant the pain.
Okay, so as soon as you give her a question, she'll get started.
So, God, there's a couple, isn't there? I know we're going around in circles a little bit. I apologise.
You pick, man. You're getting stabbed.
I am aware of giving you 2 times of ask me questions, but sometimes it happens. But again, she has said that she's not going to limit you. It's just how much stuff you can give her.
Yeah.
You're the one getting stabbed. If you want to know something,
You had a feeling, didn't you, the other day in Kalidas?
Yeah, surely that's just a nightmare. I don't think that. That's got no bearing in the real world, surely.
Nebo
Right?
said it was fine.
Nebo did. Yeah, he
Never
did.
knows best.
Did
He's
Nebo
not
say
alleged.
it was fine?
He said it's fine or it's the worst. I think is.
Yeah, I think that was.
No, it's either fine or the worst thing ever. I'm like, oh, okay.
it's one or the other.
I kind of want to ask about the bridge and the sentinels. I want to ask
Dude,
about
it's your
sentinels.
blood. Do what you're
And,
supposed to.
and she would even when looking, she said,
Hmm.
"It's your price is being paid. It's your question, your curiosity."
Yeah. Okay. What is the sentinel's way? Where does it go? What are the statues?
Okay, as soon as you finish
Yeah.
asking the question, she picks up the knife and she stabs it into your hand, through into the block, and you take some damage.
Yeah.
One of these
A
plus some of that.
Always the hand, never something you don't need.
As I assume you wince of pain, she says, "Feel free to scream, but again, don't just keep your eyes on mine." And you just kind of see now as she's leaning in, her eyes are there's these two slightly glowing circles inside the hair.
Yeah. Oh god.
Can I
Long
cast
ago.
identify while she does it?
If you want, yeah. But doesn't your identify involve like pouring stuff on things and comparing it to a
Kind
chart?
of does. I don't think it
Kinda
really
does.
works.
If you're trying to like, see if there's a spell being cast, you'd have to use detect magic.
Yeah, I don't have that. All right, never mind then. I mean, I don't have a prep. I guess.
I mean, you could try pouring stuff on there, but she might not like that. But yeah. So your question was, what was it? It was what's the bridge about?
Essentially, yeah. What are the statues? Where does it go?
Long,
Yeah.
long ago, long before even I was born, there was a great kingdom here. A king who was born in the little town that you have found yourselves in, from legend at least. He had the bridge built to commemorate his rule over the entire continent. The sentinels there keep any away who cannot show their loyalty to the king. Though that particular ritual is lost to time. Again, this is several thousands of years ago now. The giants built the golems, though I do not think they relished their task. And she sort of smiles at that. The bridge goes far, far west to the seat, the capital, through Mildholm, in fact, of Lionbury. That is the next stop on the bridge.
How far is it? I cannot ask that question.
Was that Lion Brew?
Lionbury, yeah.
Lionbury.
What does that mean?
Well, as Tombstone pointed out to me, thankfully, Bury is the suffix for a town that is a fortified town.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm
And
just asking
Lion-
how far is away.
Oh, how far away is it?
Would you?
Well, shoot.
Can I ask that about having my tongue
Yeah,
cut off or whatever?
You ask, yeah, you can ask.
How long travel is that?
Slip your
One
throat.
bollock is the price.
You kind of, as you ask a second
Only got
question,
5 of
she kind of moves the knife in your hand a little bit, and another stab of pain. No more damage, but it
Yeah,
little hurts.
I'll give a no. It's fine.
Yeah, hellish rebuke.
No. I was tempted to I might give because
Oh no, performance if you want.
a performance to I'm gonna try and play the
Sweet
game.
talker, yeah.
Yeah,
Sure,
I'm
man.
gonna try and that look pained.
My God! My hand!
Oh!
Give her some anguish.
She leans in close as you sort of act up your. I mean, it fucking hurts.
Yeah, it does.
but,
I mean, you don't know you're acting.
that's true. Everyone else is very worried about this. He's
Yeah.
done a good job of it. Lionbury lies many, many miles to the west. At least 3 days' journey. And could you give me an insight to that?
Sure.
It's 3 days.
It's quite
travel
an easy one.
by
I will
telephone.
waste a crit.
This lady keeps going on about how wide and broad her knowledge is, and she just described the equivalent of 20 miles as a massive journey.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So she might be talking up the breadth of her knowledge substantially.
Mm-hmm.
and she would probably is anything else about the bridge? And she leans in close again.
Maybe how to get past it.
Well, she said
She
that
said that was
What's
there's
with
a
the
route to and that's
statues?
lost.
People are just kind of asking questions now randomly while like Kalidas is
No,
like on
You
the...
could whisper. She's paying no
She's
attention.
already
To
answered that.
She's paying no attention to the rest of you.
Was Linebury the capital, or is it just on
No,
the way to the capital?
Just on the way.
Okay.
She said it's where she is from as well.
Hmm.
I don't.
Dude, you don't have to keep going.
Maybe Enceladus, the last question.
Just
maybe,
lay on hands yourself and then ask more questions.
maybe
Maybe
they- maybe you can ask her if she knows about the town and these locations, what the index is. Because we are trying to break in there, and maybe a place we shouldn't try to break into.
Oh, I don't want to lose a finger. I'm just I'm not gonna ask about the index. That's like things are gonna start getting cut off. I like my digital.
Can we swap places?
You can ask another question for more. Yeah. I mean, well, I guess with the insight, I'll give you one thing. The only other thing that you didn't know about the bridge specifically that you were wondering is you couldn't figure out how it was made.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like made out of bricks piled up.
That is true. I think I'm gonna say I'm all right. That's all. I don't. Yeah, I'm worried if I start asking because the index is like a whole other thing. I feel like if I ask about it, then
Sure.
Yeah,
If you're
don't
satisfied,
know,
she
sure.
she pulls out the knife, and it's again, and she says,
I grab at my hand and like pressure the wound.
Oh dear. I'll pet you up, Kalidas.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but no, I don't want that.
She picks up the chopping board and she pours the blood into the cauldron, in the fireplace.
I'm sure
Not the
that's...
tea, right?
No, not into the tea, just into the
Who
cauldron.
wants extras, guys? I don't remember, but I've used Tita's kit on Kalidas. I think I did.
You did. So I can learn. I'll learn hands myself.
You grab your hand and
As I put my
as she's
hand-
turned away.
It glows, and then just kind of heal the wound up.
Oh,
Turning back, she's
disgusted.
I see. Perhaps a price you're willing to pay easily. It seems. No matter. I have what I needed from that.
You haven't spoken to her in Draconic, have you? Because everything's scared of Draconic, isn't it? Yeah.
That is true. You could say you're welcome in Draconic. Or something like that.
Yeah, I guess
You could swear in Draconic when you
I
get
was about to
stabbed.
say, depends when you would have sworn in Draconic when getting your hand stabbed.
I guess I'll make a comment about it being a seller's market in Draconic.
Hi, have you? And she looks you over and are you related to that old wanderer by any chance?
The old wanderer.
Brings out her
perhaps,
knife.
perhaps said too much.
Wait, have we met an old wanderer? That's not.
No.
No.
I haven't met anything
I was like,
that speaks
have I just like brain farted that?
No.
I should have lied and been like, yes.
One of you did translate when you were talking to the Garabdur. He talked about a guy called Allwood Forend, which translates to Gold Wanderer.
Say, if, Miss Hild, if you don't mind me asking, what do you do with blood? Is there anything special you can do with it?
Everything I can do is very special, of course.
Wow.
I can't give away all my secrets. There's various little things. Nothing, as I say, nothing you need to worry about. A catalyst, as I say.
Oh, I see. Well. I've been experimenting with some potions myself. I could give you one, and you can tell me what you can do with blood.
I have my hand down for the potions. Thank you very much. Although I would appreciate, of course, a gift for visiting. Perhaps when you know that you'll be visiting.
Oh, sure.
A bottle of wine is traditional, of course.
Oh, yeah, that shouldn't be a problem.
There's twigs on that. So, wait, you're a purveyor of knowledge who doesn't seek knowledge?
My knowledge is already so vast. What more do I need? Although I'm always interested in a little bit of gossip, of course.
Strange.
My sister is more into that sort of thing, I must say.
Oh, you can talk to her? Isn't she rather hostile?
Oh, well. Oh, I meant never mind.
Oh, is there more than one?
You asked that, or you...
Hey, if we're about to wander into
I
another
asked
one
that
of your
as
siblings
a
and get
normal
clawed.
conversation.
I mean, you can. I'm just wondering... She seems a little bit... Yes.
Oh.
I have 2 sisters, in fact.
Oh.
What about you? What can you tell me about your family? She looks at you.
Oh. Well, I've got a mom and dad. And that's all she says.
I see.
Amazing.
Speaking of,
She sits back down on her tall...
I don't believe you.
But
I
anyone
mean,
else?
considering everyone else's stuff, yes.
More family than me.
I'm Hild.
Yes, Orion, I believe, yes.
Speaking of family, you say that you can spy on people
Oh
or
my
look
God.
on people with your crystal?
You boy, you man, you Raj, how dare you. Okay, yes, of course. Areas I'm familiar with are easier, of course, but a
How
price.
familiar do you need to be with someone?
A description can work, though it is hazy. A lock of hair is ideal.
What about a personal belonging?
That can work quite well. Especially if it is of importance. Though, again, a price would have to be paid.
Well,
More than just a little blood, I think.
And
And she would actually, you know what? She leans in to whisper to you what that would be.
okay.
And I shall type it at you. Where are you? You're McClunky. Or MacLunky, rather.
That's how it's subtitled.
McDonkey.
McClung.
A pickled egg.
Is it subtitled? I didn't think that bit was.
It's not actually. It's the what it like isn't translated in English.
Yeah, that's the only bit that. Yeah.
He actually says McClunky.
Yeah, he just says McClunky. That's what he actually says.
It was actually a word that he's saying in Rhodian in another language. So that's what goddamn quadlinguals. Well, actually, you don't even know. Imagine it, Greedo can't even speak basic. So he doesn't actually understand anything Hans says.
That's just a weird conversation where neither
that's
party
tea.
knows
Okay,
what the other one is saying.
She whispers that to you.
Alright. Well, okay.
Oh dear.
You basically just see, like, my skin sort of just become very pale. And...
Yeah. Pale blue.
Yeah.
I can pitch you up after.
It's not really something you could patch up.
Oh. I'm really good at it.
Again, I have no ill will towards any of you or your families. Think about it. You can give me an answer in your own time.
You did say you don't seem to, Yaz kind of covers his mouth with a napkin, as the whole ordeal is rather a bit much.
Yes, it's not a big room, but it's got high ceilings, so the smell kind of stops after it wafts out.
You said you don't revel in the pain, yet when you were telling Enceladus about the fate of those giants, you seemed to revel in the fact that they didn't want to be doing what they were doing.
The passions of magic, young man. Though I suspect you may have some inklings about some things beyond norm as well, am I right?
I can make the wind blow.
Not something everyone can do, even with words, of course.
Yeah.
Maybe Yaz, your blood is special. How about that? What if it's more significant?
Maybe one drop of your blood will be like... She's gonna give us a world map.
She might have one. She's got a lot of paper around.
Well, yeah, why don't we ask for a map if she has
In exchange for Yaz's blood.
Yeah, like, that would be really useful. Like a...
An accurate map.
I know Theo is itching all over to shows like just
the whole
world map. Yeah.
Well, I've already pointed out that her knowledge might be limited to a 20-mile radius.
I mean, you know it will, but I don't think that you are 100% being honest about your motivations and how you feel about this whole ordeal.
Can you make some sort? I guess maybe a persuasion to not.
I have diplomat.
Oh, you do, don't you? All right, that's fair. She sort of sits back and cocks her head aside a little bit to that and says, "You're more observant than perhaps I thought. I will say that the rush of the magic is quite enjoyable. The as I say, I take no pleasure in the pain being caused, but it is fulfilling to help."
Just grunt.
Do you mind if people forage around your forest, by the way?
I would stay out of the my little neck, as I say. The cuttings can be quite unpleasant.
Is this something you've cultivated yourself? Keep goblins out, or?
I can tell you the tale if you'd like. And she gestures to the chopping board at Balin specifically.
There really is nothing for free, is there?
Information is a great resource.
Well, is there anything you want other than blood?
You don't want to ask that question.
Perhaps a horn? Or one of your little horns could be quite powerful, potentially. As you saw, and she looks over at Wynne, I'm fresh out of fingers as well. Though I suspect those are quite important for your little device you've got there. And she sort of looks at your crossbow on your back like,
Yeah, I'd rather stay intact. I was thinking something perhaps a bit more material, but if it really is only blood and body parts, I guess there's not much we can do.
Nothing that you have with you here. I do not think you'd be especially interested in paying a greater price. But in brief, the trees I have here are a little gift from my sister. Though material, a cutting.
The sea sister, or your other hitherto unnamed sister?
The other one.
Well, for as much as her sake as ours, should we expect her to be as hospitable as you if we encounter her?
I don't think you'll come across her unless she's interested in speaking. She can be quite the shut-in, shall we say. Though she's looking out around one of the windows towards where the sun currently is. It's getting to that time of year. She may be around a little more than usual.
Ah. Is she further into the forest, or is she closer to us, actually?
I'm trying to think of how she would say it, but it isn't too useful because she's not giving her any money, by which I mean blood. She's about as far away from you as she can possibly be, really. Though I think you may have met her.
Oh?
Yes, looking at your neck. Yes. No scarring, but yeah, you've met her.
Well, I know what that means. Does Fernbrand know what that means?
I mean, no one's been touching your neck recently, apart from
that
someone.
Stuff.
Yeah.
You want to enlighten us, Miss Fernbrand?
Like a dream?
Well, I didn't say that, but, yeah.
Did you see one of these things at night wandering too?
Yeah, no, I think it was just when the dreams were really bad.
she gets so very touchy-feely at this time of year, and she may not have been able to resist, I'm afraid. All the whites hanging around. It's been such a long time, of course, but still no excuse, of course, for such behavior.
Well, I mean, from what I understand, even if your magic seems morally ambiguous, I'll be so forced to say, there was no asking involved in that, so, and it's not like I gained.
I do not speak for her. She,
right.
I'm afraid, acts for herself most of the time. I can get them around a round table if the need arises, but we prefer to stick to ourselves these days.
Could you?
I see.
Could Yaz's ears prick up at that? Well, if they're bothering us around our new home, and we're going to be neighbors for probably the next foreseeable forever, it may be a good decision if you could organize something like that, so we could maybe figure something out.
Now that sounds very difficult, and I can try, as I say, for a price, but
because if they are hurting people and citizens, we may be forced to defend ourselves.
Very true. And of course, I wouldn't want any of you to be unduly hurt or even killed. It would be very, very sad to lose such a wonderful opportunity to help each other.
One of your sisters is in our dreams. Your Balin gestures to the sort of the orb on the table. You're watching us from afar, and your other sister's on our shoreline.
Yes, she hangs around the caves under the waterfalls most of the time.
I see.
If there's no price that we can easily pay for our privacy, then yeah. Yes.
I have to make sure that you are not having any second thoughts about being neighbourly with me either, of course.
No, you've shown us nothing but hospitality.
I look at the chopping board.
She's holding the knife, yeah. Of course, twiddling around her hand.
Well, no, you made it quite clear that you and your sisters don't seem to have different ways of living.
Yes.
And I am afraid the only thing that you seem to have wanted from any of us is pain.
Well, and why?
I don't expect you to understand the ways of magic, boy. Don't worry.
Miss Hild, I'd like to ask though. I would love to come around again and chat. I hope wine will be enough to just have a friendly conversation. I wouldn't want to, you know.
Of course, we can have a chat.
Well, that sounds nice.
Will your name carry any weight with your sisters, or is there no love lost there? Last thing we want to do is anger someone.
It would depend on the context, though I wouldn't bank on it saving you, no.
She was riding a giant a crab person of sorts.
A gift. Another gift from our eldest, yes. Those horrible creatures.
Is it something to be concerned about?
Well, are you concerned about it?
I am concerned about the giant crab, obviously.
Well, she said it's a horrible creature and as a gift. She's probably not going to give you any more unless you give her more treatment. But
is anyone else going up for the chop then, or are we?
No, I think we're done with the chop. Or, I mean, I don't know. Orion, do you want to do whatever you want to
I was thinking if there's
we know where to find her.
That's true.
You do.
Fernbrand would kind of nudge your shoulder and be like, "It's all right. We can decide another time."
Well, if as she looks out, the day has gotten a bit more late. For you guys, it's probably about 3 o'clock. You've probably been here for about an hour.
I guess that's
seems about right.
Yeah, we still need to go to a stone top, which is why we get out in the first place. So I think we're
up the hill, eh? Well, do be careful.
Oh.
There's Desmond's, of course.
in the interests of you having someone to talk to, anything we should be particularly worried about?
Could you give me persuasion, please?
Sure.
That big feet walk around in these parts of the woods, leaving big footprints stamping about. Can't stand the noise of it myself.
Well, maybe we can help with that.
I doubt it. I doubt it very much.
Oh, we are quite capable.
I'm sure you think you are.
Come on, guys. We can kill a giant, right?
That is an unknowable question.
Yeah, give us some HP for how much you think you could do to a giant. Yeah, I just said big feet.
Well, it's
his hands.
T-Rex.
Yeah.
It's just Bigfoot.
It's Bigfoot. It's your boy Bigfoot. He's just hanging out.
Well, Miss Hill, it's been an interesting encounter.
A pleasure.
Honestly, a bit weird, but I'm open to not doubt your actions and just try to understand your way of living.
Before you all leave, if you would like safe passage through my little wooded area without my direct supervision, then would you be willing to put your names to paper for me? That would certainly allow you to come hither and thither through these. They're very friendly trees if you get to know them. Believe me, but
Are there more names in the book already?
She hasn't opened a book in front of you, but
Right.
if you agree, then you might see.
I mean, best as I could tell, we only had to worry about your pet. You telling me the trees take names?
Oh, that was him. All of them, all as one thing, part of something greater, of course. But that's a story for another day, it seems.
She was saying that if you put our name in a book, we'll be friends with the trees.
She wants you to sign something that she claims will allow you safe passage through this bit of the forest, which is only like a mile long anyway, wide. But that is what she's asking,
Right.
offering.
Hard for me to say honestly in character, because like she was pretty cool with her, but now that she knows that the sister was the one in her dreams, she's very much not so cool with her anymore.
No,
so,
that's very reasonable.
I don't know where I'm standing. Can I don't know. It's a bit cheap rolling another insight, but considering I have all this new information,
Fine.
can I?
I would let you roll an insight about this particular thing.
That'd be nice.
It's not a super hard thing for. Nah, it seems all fine. Nothing wrong with signing it.
I will sign it.
I will do the same, because I want to visit her again.
Do we need all of our signatures or chaperones?
I guess
fine?
just mostly the people who actually want to come again here, right?
It would be certainly a risk to not put your name in the old visitor's book, but if you really insist not, then you'll have to take your chances with old Hunger, I'm afraid.
We can keep a wild birth from him.
She gets out a book that is not as dusty as the other stuff. In fact, it's not really dusty at all. It looks pretty frequently used.
We got him fine last time when as we arrived.
Are there other names? That is a very good question.
She flicks through the pages, and you see that there's a list of names, most of which are crossed out.
I was about to say this.
Yeah. So she gets to a more recent page where there's a couple of not crossed out entries, and she turns the book towards.
What are the names?
Yeah, very interesting.
Who's looking at it? Who's a firm? Or who?
Who was the first one to say that?
Who else is going to be signing it?
I'm signing it as well.
Tyrone, Miss Fernbrand. Anyone else?
Debating it.
Okay, well, that's useless right now. Neil, you gonna?
Yaz would never do the blood thing, but he would sign a book to come talk to someone. So yeah,
very reasonable. Would Enceladus be signing it, Zan?
Dude, you're going full in. First the blood, then
yeah,
the name.
he'll he, like shakes his hand a bit and then glares at her,
Yeah.
and then like signs it while
When
making.
she sees your hand that you sign with, looks like it's healing quite nicely.
I just keep direct eye contact with her. I know her eyes are now.
Yeah.
As I sign it.
What's the ink?
The ink appears to be a sort of a deep blue ink from a quill pen. Nothing insidious about that, as far as you can tell. The names, as you guys look through, the next signature up, the most recent one, A looks very recent, and B it's a big signature, and it's kind of it's in a sort of runic. What's the word?
Like we'd know, like dwarven
alphabet. Yeah, similar to dwarvish.
Would you think that there are a lot of names in there?
There's probably about
Just rough estimate.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think. There's at least like because they're different. Look, as you were flipping through, rather, a lot of the names were quite big in there. Not like huge, but they were very inconsistent. It's not like a lined piece of paper.
I get what you mean.
So there's a good like quarter of the book, and it's probably about like 40 pages worth of the names. And then the most recent page is the only page which doesn't have names crossed out on it.
Well, you seem to have many more friends than you let out to be.
I provide services for the local war band, of course, down south.
Right.
No, we're not the only ones bloodletting for business then.
I have, well, of course, I had a lovely chat with the young prince this morning. I think you'll probably be hearing from him quite soon, in fact.
Prince?
But yeah, so the name above, does anyone speak Dwarvish?
No.
No. I speak Gnome, the most useless language I could know.
Common Elvish Walkish.
He's not written anything about a gnome. Okay, so you would recognise that the runes are kind of Dwarvish-like, but they're not. You don't know what it says. It's probably a name though, if it's in there.
Well,
you'll sign your names. Oh, how lovely! A little bit of variation is nice, isn't it?
I'll sign as well.
Good man.
If you will.
Gnomish and D&D also does use the Dwarven script.
Yeah, a lot of them do, don't they? Yeah. That is a fair point, actually. Ms. Fernbrand, could you make a intelligence check to translate it as you skim through?
Big brain, come on!
Massive brain moment.
Oh, amazing!
Colossus brain. Oh, it's a... Yep, that's the Dwarvish word for... Yeah...
For dwarf.
For dwarf.
Marmalade.
I know it's Dwarvish, good enough for me.
You think, that's probably
Orcish.
a word.
Orcish uses the Dwarven script as well.
They do as well. Okay, and you can be intelligence as well.
Oh man. Come on, crit fail
Just
as well.
straight intelligence.
Come on, Balin. Come on. Do it. It's double team this. Oh, get that.
Oh,
Nice.
You can read it, and it's probably, if you were to use it, like, pronounce it phonetically, it's not really a word that you can tell, because you don't actually speak the language that it's written in. But if it was to be said phonetically, it would be something along the lines of, like, how does this, like, Gark, essentially.
Oh man.
But,
Alright.
Huh.
We know that a Garg is friends with her or business partner.
So, are these just blank pages? And we just write our name on them?
it appears to just be a set of blank pages, yeah.
Why the...
Now that you're in here, you should be able to. And she closes it and pats it. You should be able to pass through this little forest. Though again, do try and if you do see it, that lovely young fellow. If you do see him again, just keep your eyes off him and don't address him. He, as I say, my control over him is somewhat limited.
Oh, okay.
Should we expect to see it wander far from your forest, or...?
Oh, it won't leave the shade of these trees.
And your scarecrow outside, is that ever something we should worry about seeing out and about?
That old stick, he just goes and fetches things for me every now and again.
I really want to talk about that one in particular with you. It seems
Are there crows that we should be worried about?
Crows? Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Any
if there's a
crows
scarecrow,
scared
then
off,
there
I
should
see,
be.
I see. Yes, the Ultra Crow, the most powerful.
The Ultra Crow is coming.
Gotcha. No, this should be fine.
Well,
Um,
thank you for your.
I hope to see you again, of course.
Yeah, of
Yes,
course.
thanks for everything.
He's doing begrudgingly. Well, I guess we shall see you in the future.
Thank you for the tea. Well,
Thank you very much.
If you can,
My
please
pleasure.
please tell your sister not to scare, is being mean in my dreams. That'd
I'm
be great.
afraid if my control over hunger is limited, then my control over my sisters is significantly less.
Well, it's worth trying.
Well, I wonder if this hag. Sorry, not the word.
This lovely old lady.
Old lady. Not
I mean,
the sister.
unclear how
I wonder
old she
if-
is.
I wonder if all of the dreams are influenced by her.
Well, I
Let's
saw
find
her,
out
but
and
you
ask her
didn't.
that.
That doesn't mean that.
I think she just
Yeah,
made it
influence.
extra not good.
Potential.
Maybe something that feasts on the suffering,
Yeah.
much like our friend.
You step. I assume you step out of the house.
I would give her an exaggerated diplomat's bow.
She gives you a curtsy in response. Although she seems kind of amused by the whole
And
ritual of it.
I would say something along the lines of I do hope that if you need anything that maybe we can provide, you would ask us in the future. Maybe not as a pain merchant, but as clearly you need reagents and herbs and things like that, and we may have them. So
I look forward to a close relationship with you and your count, of course.
Oh shit.
I'm sure we have much that we can provide each other.
Have a good day.
Stay safe. Try not to be out when the sun goes down. That would sort of render all this quite pointless.
Okay, thank you for the warning.
She probably would have gone over this when Yaz was sort of reading the letter to her, but did she have any sort of formal response to the letter?
Oh, sure.
Oh,
That's a fair
yeah.
point, actually, yeah. In response to the letter, she would, once she'd gone through it fully, she would have said that she was she had seen the council, and she was looking forward to meeting them.
She gonna come over?
now let's get out of here.
So when you guys leave the house, you kind of you didn't really notice it when you first entered, but leaving there's a sort of like that a weight is lifted from you guys, and you kind of think like there was a certain sort of aura in that room, more so than just the atmosphere of there being a crazy lady who wanted to cut your hands up, sitting 2 feet away from you.
Okay.
Well, witches are a thing
Yes.
that we have to worry about now.
I feel
Yes.
that when I had my dream thing, I think my mother made her go away. So maybe she can tell us more about this witch stuff. And she's probably gonna be very angry that I signed in that book. But I think she's a good source of information, albeit in very morbid ways.
Out of character, your mother did scream "Begone, you witch," didn't she?
Yes, you did. Yeah, in Infernal.
Yeah.
I think
She
get
also
Get out of here, you witch, or face me, or something to that effect.
Exactly. Face me.
And also she did seem to. She recognized all of our species except yours,
Yeah.
and Kalidas, but she did recognize you as a tiefling.
That is true.
I don't know if that's anything
And
pertinent.
she compared me to something.
As
Yeah.
well. Seems to be a
Friends.
hero.
Yeah.
Oh,
You did
Gold
great there, by
something?
the way, Kalidas. That was very brave, getting your hand stabbed.
It's part of my code.
Yeah.
What is
I don't say that. I just kind of shrugged non-committedly, and I'm like, needed to be done.
Yeah, the only time I've seen someone run their hand through like that was when they're messing up the knife game.
Oh.
Leave the next job of heroism to me.
Challenged her to it.
when
Oh, she's too good. She's too fucking good.
Russian knife tricks.
when she was comparing Enceladus to the thing, did she say it was gold something, right?
She said, "Are you related to that old wanderer?" I think is what she said.
Yes.
So this one I had the word gold.
The only wanderer that you are aware
that
of
was the
is
translation. Of
is
that.
the gold wanderer, which is the translation.
Might
of
not be the same thing.
Okay.
Or it could be.
Personally, while we walk away, I don't put much heed in maybe using her services.
I don't want to.
Oh, Tombstone, you have an envelope. Or other
Yeah,
Win.
I'm gonna stuff my hand down my trousers.
You pull the envelope out of your trousers.
Hey, Win. I mean, she was like.
invitation.
Let's go away, sorry guys.
I assume you have.
She was just so tall.
Opening it, you see inside is a little brown, like, parcel tag. Essentially, it's quite large actually. No, little as in it's small in general, but large for a parcel tag. Sort of like 4 inches across. Do you know what I mean by a parcel tag?
Is there a postal service on it?
With like a little,
Exactly.
with like it's a piece of brown, basically thick paper with a piece of sort of old yellowish string tied around it, so you could attach it to a parcel essentially.
Sure.
I
I'll
just take
read
that
it.
one out.
I grabbed this from a table.
You
When that's
might
gonna
wanna
make
keep that quiet till we're out. She's definitely got eyes and ears around here.
if I come back,
I feel like
it's
we
gonna
can't
be
really
very
keep secrets
awkward.
from her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what worries me.
Yeah, I should probably bring that bag when I get back there.
No.
Okay.
Look, if you hold up and show people, those of you who are magically inclined can tell
Yes.
that it is somewhat supernatural in of itself.
Hmm.
Can I finally read it?
It doesn't have anything written on it.
Oh.
It's blank, completely blank.
Um,
But the material in your hand feels almost like a static shock as you pull your fingers away from it and touch it, and it's definitely got a bit of arcane stuff going on with it.
all
But
right.
not something to attune to?
I'm too curious.
Okay.
It is essentially a scroll of legend lore. You attach it to an item, and then it gets a Dark Souls lore tag written on it.
No.
One use only.
I don't know
One
what
use.
I don't know what legend lore does.
Could have done
Legend
it as a
lore
ritual,
is
so
good.
it's so bad.
freaking awesome spell.
I can kind of presume from
It
the name.
basically gives you the Dark Souls description of an item.
Okay,
It
that
gives you,
can
it
be
gives you
useful,
lore that there's
probably.
no way you could know.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a magic sword thing. Maybe it would tell where the X is.
I think we should use it against something we really don't know anything about.
I guess.
I
We slap
believe
up the door of the
that
index.
I believe that we're piecing together the information on the sword, and we're still working on the index. It may be wise to save it for something very unknown.
Mm-hmm.
I shall put it in your thing.
Like maybe one of the statues at the bridge, or the bridge itself, or something like that.
As far as you can tell, it would need to be attached,
Man.
like tied around it essentially, so probably difficult with surgery. I mean, you can go.
Oh, okay.
Guys, I'm so looking forward to when I go with my mom to that witch, and it's gonna be like dragging your like kid along. What did your daughter do to my? Just, awful.
Once she's through with you for signing a stranger's book, and
Oh yeah, definitely.
Can we go to?
Let's head to the stone top then.
You
Time
guys.
Time is of the essence.
So yeah, you
Yeah.
guys begin walking out through the horrible warm red forest again.
Yeah.
With Wind's passive perception, she probably notices standing off in the distance that horrible red thing again, but it's not making any move towards you guys. It appears to be watching you as you walk out. And when you see it in one place, then you walk a bit further on, and then you see it in a completely different place.
Well, that's very
slightly.
spooky.
And always the same one.
It looks identical each time, yeah.
I guess it got the memo.
Or it's been told to keep people from entering, not leaving.
Anyway, put him away.
He's dead though. Somewhere.
He did. I mean, when you guys were hitting him, he didn't seem to be especially powerful. I will say that. He kind of splatted under your attacks pretty
Well, it seems kind of like an avatar.
Oh, he's not blue though. Yeah.
Of the forest.
Hilarious.
I'm a funny guy.
But
Got him.
in all seriousness, it did. I mean, we all know Miss Fernbrand, and she's a fellow alchemist and magic purveyor, and they want nothing more than the acquisition of more herbs and materials. I mean, Nebo is always wanting things.
Never wants a break, is what Never wants. But
Yeah, Nebo wants a goddamn break, but he's always burning through materials.
Never's getting a break when he earns one.
How dare you? How dare you?
Oh, shit.
How dare you? Who's killed a crab in his life and died twice?
Next time I find you on the beach half dead, I'll leave you there. You haven't earned my healing.
We're definitely going to have questions for him, I say that much. Such as, what can you do with blood, and how do we stop a creepy witch lady spying on everything we do?
But more accurately, I found it strange that the only thing she wanted was our pain.
It's a very... I hate to say it, but so far all the things I know about witches seem to be kind of true. I know that they have very weird understanding of, magic stuff and whatever's associated to it. So I'm curious of learning some, but I hope not all of it is just gonna come down to, you gotta stab your neighbor in the gut.
I also didn't like that she seemed to engage with us in some ways in bad faith.
Well, yeah, exactly. She's very sadistic. I don't think she wants to give us what we want.
Yes, that's the alarming part of it.
I doesn't want to give it for free.
It's more than that. I can. It might be ironic, but keeping a killer sea monster in our town, but I know what that creature wants.
Yeah.
And with her, she hid how much she was enjoying it, and she hid exactly the measure of what she needed.
I mean,
that's
would
alarming.
we have done it if she hadn't?
Say,
I think that being honest in a circumstance like that is way more important than just saying frivolous words we want to hear.
Orion, what does she want from you?
Well, it's very concerning.
Yeah, I'm guessing your thoughts were as to where the rest of the Triton were.
Is she gonna chop off your arm?
It was more pressing than that, but she wants the firstborn.
Oh.
She wants the
She told you to keep it between you and her.
But that's it. That's all.
Well,
yours, the settlement hole.
what should we do about her though in the future?
I don't think she herself is necessarily an issue. I'm more worried about her sisters, really.
Yeah, that's true. She's been quite passive.
She's a broker. She's trying to be a bit more, but I've dealt with her type before in some capacity.
I think she's gonna mingle with everyone who just gives her what she wants, right?
Exactly. Respectful distance and a price if it needs paying.
But she hasn't been actively aggressive, though,
No.
unlike the other sister. So
That
I
is
think
true.
She
Well,
did
while it's in
really
their
enjoy
interest
doing
not to
that
be.
to me.
that is correct.
That's also true.
I really don't like the fact that she's watching our council meetings.
No, I find that concerning as well. I don't know. My magic is very different from Nebo's, but maybe we can come up with something.
Yeah.
So you guys, after talking, you would have left the sticky blood forest. I mean, red forest.
Cough, cough.
And you find yourself you're going uphill, and there's a distinct gap between the trees here and the trees growing on this hill. Not quite as extreme as it was where the border for the the Hobgoblin border. That's what it is. You figured it out. The Hobgoblin's border was a little bit more regimented, so maybe even that they're looking after it potentially as well. But this one is a bit rougher, and there's a huge amount of sort of fog and mist coming down off the hill, and it's kind of mixing with the steam that's coming off the forest as it's melting in the cold temperatures. So it's very foggy around here, essentially, is what I'm saying.
How many hours of good daylight do we have left?
Good daylight, probably no more than 2.
Well, then let's check this place out quickly.
Yeah. Definitely
we'll
keeping
never
an
get
eye out
back
for
in time.
large footprints or animal anything that seems oversized print-wise.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
We'll never get back in time. Will
No.
No.
You guys
I don't
will.
know.
It will definitely be night by the
Yeah.
time you guys get back. That is
We're
100%.
risk takers.
Well,
Yeah.
if we
The
go
cockatrice.
down the hill, the worst we'll probably find are more of these sheep things.
I'd rather take the forest edge on the way back. At least we know what we're dealing with there.
Oh, by the way, you guys get 100 XP for dealing. No, 150 for the way you've dealt with that
Oh,
situation.
nice.
God.
Slurp.
Nom XP.
Especially with the news that her rather unpleasant sister likes to hang out in the waterfalls.
Yeah.
The long.
That's the last place I want to be at night.
The Sahagwin knew of her.
Oh.
But I hold up the picture the Sahagwin drew of the long man and refer to Hild's height and her long hair.
True.
Hmm.
What did she wanted the... When did you see the Count's daughter?
Me?
Because now
I
we know
s-
there's an actual witch messing up our shoreline, he might take that a bit more seriously.
Hmm.
Everyone's
It was at
just
nighttime,
to
right?
make
It was
fun of
like-
It was
It
night.
was... Yeah, I was just...
You basically had
I
like
was-
fallen asleep whilst training at the beach.
Hmm.
You'd sat down for a minute and you'd dozed off. I'm taking my jumper off.
yeah, I'm willing to believe that thin man is probably Geth.
Yeah.
Girth, yeah.
Girth.
Girth healed, and you have not heard a name for if there is a third one. If I've
If.
said there's a third one. She said there's a third one.
She did.
I believe
Older
it.
sister, right? That's what she said.
She did indeed say older sister, yes.
Which, well, it sort of implies more powerful, but I don't know.
I believe she's...
Elves always with the age equals power. Anyway.
Well, she
Well,
said
I
that
asked-
her sister
I
gave
asked-
up
I
gift.
know. I know.
I asked Gwyn if you have siblings, Gwyn?
I have 6 siblings.
Yeah, you've never met
Are
anyone,
you
so it doesn't
are you the eldest?
No, I'm somewhere in the middle.
I think you're the
Oh,
youngest.
then there must be there's
Oh.
one way more stronger than you, right?
I
Cool forearms.
He's got 20 in it.
Cool forearms.
They have other skills.
Yeah, making loads of money. Anyway, no, you're about to say something, sorry.
One of them runs Coca-Cola. Yeah, we should make it up
Make
there.
haste.
Make haste.
Yeah, make
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are
Keep
not
up.
going to be able to stealth super efficiently. Not that you could stealth super efficiently.
Third.
Fuck,
Jump.
Yeah, but you're moving quick.
I'll still move a bit ahead. Hopefully the fog makes up a bit for our
Sure.
lack of active stealth.
Ben, could you make a perception check, please? Because you're looking for like tracks and stuff as well, aren't you?
Yeah. Is that perception or nature?
Nature. Sure, I'd be happy for nature.
Tracks is not survival?
It's
It's active.
It's kind of
Yeah.
survival, I think. Usually tracking.
Is it?
Yeah.
I guess nature would be determining what they are tracks of.
Oh yeah, it's the knowledge versus usage
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. So make a survival, I suppose.
Okay.
I'm happy to be argued with about what checks are appropriate.
Don't
but
develop
I
that
also
range
have
of
to
alright.
say-
I know you hate them so much.
Anyway, survival. As you're walking across, it's quite hard to see. Again, this fog is actually getting quite thick as you head up. And you duck down. You actually do find a singular, quite large footprint. It's probably about a foot and a half long. It's pretty big footprint, and it's got some toes and a human-ish foot, I would say, with that roll.
Yeah.
Like,
just
is there a-
It's in some particularly.
wait for the group to catch up.
It's in a muddy area, so it's kind of in a muddy patch. So around it is unclear if there's more, but presumably it didn't like do a huge hop 30 feet away. But you only got one footprint here.
Yeah, we were joking about giants, guys, but well, look at this.
Pretty big.
How big was it?
About a foot and a half long. For reference, the giant skeletons that you found would have been way bigger than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not impressed.
Something of the ilk.
But they didn't leave footprints.
And there's like other toes
Yeah, they-
and like
body
Yeah,
parts.
that's what I was
Yeah.
asking, about to ask.
There
yeah.
are yeah. There's 5 toes in total.
Is there a big toe?
There is a very big toe.
Actually, can I see if I can
Probably
find
bipedal,
another footprint or like a set of 2? Because I'm trying to gauge its stride length.
you can. Now that you found one, you can try and follow it a bit. Yeah, make
Sure.
another survival, and I'll roll something as well while I'm here. Oh, okay. Well, you do your survival. Okay, 7. You step along trying to follow, and you come around a tree, and your ion stone that gives you third sight, as it were. Suddenly, you catch a glimpse of something in your peripheral through this, and you turn, and you're face to face with something that's trying to sneak but completely failed. And wrong layer. Oh, gee, how dare you? Advanced layer token. There you go. A big, like a super hobgoblin, is standing there and looks very surprised. He's looking you directly in the face, like, "Oh shit!" Essentially, and it's got a big club, and it's looking at you.
Oh, he looks
And it's
great.
not moving. It's completely still looking at you.
Go down.
Oh, he thinks
Nobody
if he doesn't
move.
move, he can't see him.
Nobody move. We have
Why?
company.
Oh.
You guys can now all see it as well. Like it.
Oh yeah.
You're a bit
Can I
further
do?
behind, 20 feet behind.
Can I do a perception check to see if we're not surrounded?
You can certainly do that. Yes.
Okay.
Probably with advantage because someone's probably helping you. I'd imagine.
All right.
You can't see any others around you.
Okay.
The trees here are a bit thinner than they were in the thicker parts of the forest as well. So this would be. You'd think it'd be pretty obvious if there was another one of these like standing like, behind you.
Does he have any insignia on him?
He's wearing sort of, as you can see, sort of dungarees, but he doesn't appear to have any sort of tattoos or any like. You would notice from like bright colours, for example, if he had like the mammoth thing, because that had the white and the bright red.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
No, you don't
He
see
said
anything like that.
he looked like a giant hobgoblin, basically.
He looks
Well,
very
like-
much hobgoblin-y, yeah.
How giant do you mean?
Oh, well, he's large,
Oh, okay, so pretty big.
pretty big. His feet would match up with the footprint, for example.
Well, I'm
He's
just
a
gonna
Bigfoot.
ask him if he speaks common.
Yeah. So Balin makes a kind of sort of
We
lowering
all shout on other native
In all languages,
tongues.
so you got you right.
Yeah.
Was he talking at the same time? Eh?
You said, what do you say? Sorry.
Let's ask him if he speaks common.
No, I don't know, but what does
Oh,
Baden
sorry.
actually say?
Oh, I was going to say, I make a kind of lowering gesture, as in sort of lower your weapon, and would just ask in common, can you understand me?
It looks at you as you speak and sort of startles back for a second. It looks over at the rest of you, and let me just make a int check for it to count you. Yeah, it runs away. It sees that there's fucking 6 of you. It's like, ah! And it suddenly leaps up and it slams its huge feet into the ground, making no effort to be stealthy, and makes quite a lot of noise as it stomps away in the woods to the, basically not up the hill but around it to the further to the west.
Oh, so somewhere.
It's not like away completely, so if you want to like shoot it, it's only got 6. It's no faster than you. but
Somewhere in the witch's house, there's like dust coming from the ceiling.
it's like, oh, fuck off.
Not again.
I have no interest in shooting him.
No.
No.
He seems.
That's fine.
Well, he seems scared. There's so many of us. Did he try to
Yeah, he
attack
was-
you, Balin?
When you turned around to see him, he had his club like raised above his head, like he was waiting to hit you over the head, essentially.
Yeah, he was
Go.
definitely waiting to clock us.
Oh, that's not good.
What the fuck?
Well, I guess it's best to stick together.
He's gone.
But you should probably
Let's move around as a
Yeah,
group.
maybe we should move as a group from now on for this path.
Yeah, with this fog closing in, I agree.
It's hard to see.
Which way up would you sort of approach by? Would you just go straight up, like from directly north, or would you sort of go around?
No time be wasting, guys.
Going straight up is difficult on a hill as well, because it is, hills. It can be easy to go around and up at the same time.
Oh, is this the moment where we're going to use a climbing kit tool stuff?
You could certainly do that, yeah. For the
hiking
part of it.
If we've got like pitons.
You know that the right-hand side towards the waterfall of the east side of the hill is more jutting out rocky bits.
Oh yeah.
You've been able to see it directly from quite far away.
Does it look like
this is somewhat accurate, this drawing?
The earth kind of naturally inclines up and round?
What we can do is we can walk round up the way, and then we can walk back down on the faster hill.
Yeah, that will make more time.
Yeah, if it's anything like a last trip, we'll definitely want to get home faster than we get up there.
Sure. Okay, so you're going to go around eastwards, are you? Up there and then sort of down like that, I guess.
Yeah. That is the way our would-be attacker ran.
He sort of went... Yeah.
Went off into the woods.
He ran off and then you guys didn't keep tracking
How long would it take for us to walk to the forest's edge?
Do you mean from, as in eastwards to the forest?
Like, as we're heading up to the Stormtop, west, I mean, actually go to the woods, because we're not in the woods right now.
The woods here are less thick. It's kind of just like trees coming out of the... So, okay, I get you. From the hill just into the thicker forest, it's probably less than a mile from where you currently are. The hill's not super wide, but it's quite steep and rounded at the top, quite tall.
And these are quite thin trees, right?
Yeah. It's kind of like if you imagine like a ski slope kind of thickness of tree. Sort of like 10 feet between each one at least.
Balin, this might be a quick mission, I think, that might be worth doing. If you were to climb one of these trees and look westward, I think you should maybe scan those tree lines for more symbols of the hobgoblins.
I was just thinking that if we're breaking a clearing, I wonder if they've got territory here. And another tower or two.
Or something else entirely. He didn't seem
another faction.
Exactly. He didn't seem to have any insignias, so there may be a clan? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, whoever they are, they're certainly familiar to Hild, so...
Well, they seem very aggressive as well. He was just attacking you. Maybe you were in his territory, but I don't see any markings.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe if we look that way, we'll see some.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to climb up a tree and do a perception, I suppose?
Yeah.
Probably with advantage. Again, when you have your telescope, so with advantage.
Yeah. I definitely, if I can remember where I saw any other towers, the Hobgoblin ones, I definitely sort of look for those as well.
Okay. Go. Give me a roll. Nice. That's pretty good. So you know that there's a tower. It's not quite. Wouldn't be quite on this map, but there's a tower that's sort of. Let me just check them correctly. There's a tower that's sort of like that way, as it were,
okay.
A little further down. From what you remember, most of the towers went down to the west, south. Is that how you would say that? Because it's south. I know it's south-southwest. If it's
most southwest,
west-southwest.
Southwest-west. So yeah, southwest-west is the direction that most of the towers were sort of leading in, if they were in clusters. From up here, you can see that there is a sort of stony clearing to the right, as you can kind of see, but you can see it with a bit more detail from here. Mm-hmm. You can see that there is kind of pathways in the trees that lead to there. Mm-hmm. Again, the trees are not very close together, but there's sort of wide... From up here, it's quite clear. There are wide paths through that lead up to there. And to the right... to the left, to the west, you can see the fog is kind of circling around, kind of like a very slow hurricane on something. And as you watch, you see that it's moving slowly kind of around the hill. Not towards you, but kind of like ambling around, essentially.
Okay. Yeah,
You can't see much up the hill just because you're looking up it, as it were, so it's obscuring itself. You can't see the top of a hill from the bottom of it, as it were.
And no trees with symbols or anything?
You do not see any sign of that, no.
Okay. Well, we should make all haste for the tree before that fog seems to cut us off.
Yeah.
Let's head off.
So you're going to head which way around? Sorry.
There are some existing paths that seem to be trodden in through these trees. It's whether we want to follow those or not.
Let's just head up as hastily as we can around that tree around.
Sorry, which way?
Just through the left side, I guess.
Okay, if everyone's happy for that.
Sure, there is a literally rolling fog, but
okay. So you descending back down, you make your way up, corkscrewing around. The fog is very thick here. It wasn't much thinner on the other side, but here you can kind of feel it. It's obscuring your vision quite effectively. You can't see much more than 80 feet ahead of you, to be quite frank. And it's very cold and it's wet as fog is. So it clings to your arm and your clothes, and you're feeling a bit damp right now.
What are you talking about? I love it.
Yeah, I know, right? That's it. Yeah, all you steel wearing guys are gonna have to do some maintenance on your steel stuff, but no, that tritanium's going to be fine. Could you, who would have the best shot? Could Balin and could Wynn please make perception checks for me?
Okay.
You both hear something in the fog to the northwest, kind of. Footsteps. Slow and heavy. You can hear them crunching through twigs. You can't really tell how far away it is.
Heavy footsteps coming our way. Could be the same thing as before.
I would put my armor on, touching my back, and swirl the wind around.
Sure. As that happens, the mist sort of flies away from you a second and then seeps back in. And you can feel that now that you've noticed the direction, you can kind of feel the fog, as it was churning, it's kind of churning towards that sort of direction as well.
We want to make ourselves known, or do we want to keep pressing on?
I think we should investigate.
I think we should make ourselves known so we don't get jumped by someone that thinks we're a villain.
Who's gonna step forth towards the? It's not really coming towards you. You think probably if you were to sit there, it might pass, but yeah.
If we're announcing ourselves, I don't mind stepping forward.
Nice.
Are you gonna call out?
Okay, so you step forth and do you shout anything, or you just
Send Draconic who goes there. That will show him.
Draconic seems like the best voice.
Yeah, I guess I'll say hello. Who goes there in Draconic? Why not?
You shout out in Draconic. Everyone's like, ugh. I don't know what Draconic sounds like. I guess it sounds like Latin if it was have Latin names.
Hey, we're not savages. We're a noble species.
You are very noble.
Very noble. No noble sounds there.
Out of character, if that is a giant talking dragon at it, is not the best.
No, it's a terrible idea.
Oh, okay. Well, something failed its stealth. And you shout out that, and you hear next to you, sort of about 10 feet away.
Oh shit!
And you turn to the right, and you see a fucking huge lion.
Oh fuck!
It's on the map player.
I know.
The lion's on the map player.
I know. Look, I've only got one mouse.
Guys, I think we got to that point in the game where you like step over into the different area and you didn't realize you're in a different level zone.
Yeah.
That's all I
does not.
Where's the fog gate?
It is.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It is
Does it have
not.
a little skull above its head?
Why the fuck did we go around the thing? I should have.
We in the wildy.
Oh,
It is
Jesus.
not openly acting hostile. It's not like clawing at your eyes. It's very close to you, and it is snarling at you. And again, this is a huge creature, not a large creature.
Okay.
Oh my! That's
fuck!
Because lions are just large creatures.
So you put it up by one.
Pretty much. I mean, it's a huge creature.
So I just mean like everything, the
Yeah.
rams now. This.
think we found what eats the sheep.
It's got a very thick, kind of woolly hair for like you. Enkels, can you make a nature check for me? You probably actually have the best chance for this one as well because you have travelled a bit more.
No.
It's a big lion. It's got
big
woolly
lion.
hair, which lions don't generally have, and it's a lot bigger.
Yeah.
It's not colour as well, but yeah.
I guess it needs to be up.
I'm proficient in nature. Can I also make a check, or?
Yeah, you guys could probably see it as Enkelos turns to it, and after shouting, there's a kind of a layer of fog, not following it, but it sort of emerges from the fog as you guys can see it. Yeah. So if you want to make it, it's a real big lion. You know that in Norse, lions are often used as heraldry, for example. Knights would often have a cool lion, but what a lion looked like in Norse is more like a leopard.
Okay.
They didn't get it right in traditional drawing. It's a cold place, but this is a cold place, and there's a lion here, which is weird.
It's not got a collar or anything.
Not that you can see in its mane.
No markings or anything.
But it does seem to be a pet of this man. Well, I'd say man. I've not seen the creature.
Which man? Which man are you talking about?
Whoever's making a rustle.
Well, not necessarily. Could be a bigger lion.
This is the thing that's making big footsteps. I will put that.
Oh,
out there.
okay.
Don't. Yeah. You shouted. Okay, so actually, before any more further, it kind of leans in, snarling at you, but you hear another voice. Snormir, coming out from the fog. You do not recognize the voice explicitly.
Okay.
And the lion backs off for a second, and you hear another set of footprints, not quite as heavy as these ones. And a figure is in the forest ahead of you. You can't see, it's out of visual, you can't see it completely, but it's silhouetted. And this is another huge thing of a humanoid, a giant humanoid.
Is this actually like Gulliver's Travels or something? Or
how far?
And Curls, you can see that it's holding a long, either like a long staff or a sword or something, and it's carrying something over its shoulder.
How far away is it?
It would be like 65 feet away because it's like it's standing in the fog, so you out of your visible reach. But the lion begins to back away slowly, still snarling at you though.
Yes,
Okay.
Definitely advise the diplomatic approach. I don't like our
Yeah.
Snormir.
I don't understand that.
Could you make intelligence checks, please?
All of us?
Enkelos.
Oh, okay.
And so just check.
Yes,
Come on,
please.
big brain and colorless. Oh, fuck you!
Oh, biggest brain.
It's giant! And you
My
got that
brain-
Nebo book! Nebo gave you a giant phrase book!
I do. I put it out.
Oh,
1 second. So I'm scrolling.
¿Dónde
There's
está la
like-
biblioteca?
you are now a tourist in Japan, frantically going through.
Where is the library?
My hovercraft is full of eels.
With that intelligence, you can probably translate what he said as best you can with the Facebook. Again, the Facebook is not perfect. And it does not provide much context. But again, so it will be an intelligence check to use it to translate, essentially.
Oh, jeez.
But he said something along the lines of who goes there and who speaks that tongue.
That's a good way of phrasing that.
Should we? I'm going to whisper to Yaz. Yaz, should we speak in the special tongue? He may understand that.
I don't know.
I really don't know. I think that we know he speaks the book. Maybe should we find the word friend?
That's a good word, I think.
That would immediately disarm the situation.
Sure. Is there? Can I flick through and try and find something for?
Yes, you certainly can. You can find, and I can never remember what it is specifically. So I need
My best friend Lupe.
You find
to the
again with that crit. I'll let you get one more thing with that. But with that crit, you can, or with that 20 rather, you can't crit on it. But anyway,
Yes.
You find that there's
Look, it's green. It's crit.
Yeah, I know, right? There's a sort of theme in the giant language where they have certain words that mean are like quite important, and there's like the word that means bad, and there's the word that means good, and the good word is here. It is. What's to right here? So the bad word is Maug, M-A-U-G in common, and the good word would be Mart, M-A-A-T. So Mart.
Okay.
So you could probably figure out a way to say like we're good.
Yeah.
We're nice.
I would, I guess, I would like point at myself and then say my name, then Calidus, and then I'd try and gesture and be like, we good?
We good?
Flip to the back, that's where the conjugation usually is.
Yeah, I
I remember this from learning Elvish.
is this a past participle? I don't know.
If the book fails us, then whatever you spoke to that rock in probably isn't a bad shout.
You shout that out, and then you hear in response, Smurm white mogger nir. And it begins to step towards you. Give us another intelligence to translate, but it's not.
I heard the white bad.
You did hear those two words though.
I heard the white bad in that. Yeah.
I am going to cast.
This guy basically said, "I don't have any whites who are friends," but he's kind of. But it didn't sound like aggressive.
Yeah.
It's just more of a statement of fact.
Kind of
and
thing.
he's. Cast a spell before I say.
I'm going to cast Destroy Water. I'm going to destroy the fog around him.
Shit.
Around him.
It's sort of just.
Do that.
What's
the range? 20, 30 feet, right? You've got to get range. You've got to get in range if you're going to do that. I'm going to save you here. Do you run forwards and do it? I know you want to use it, but
I want to use it so it's like max range, so I can because it's a 30-foot cube.
Sure. So you create an area in front of Enceladus, which is free of the fog, and this thing actually steps into it, so you all get a good clear view of him.
Oh, nice.
That seems fair. And this dude steps out next to the line.
Oh,
Christ!
He's animated, so you know it's important.
yeah, exactly.
He has this huge, pure white sword with a sort of wooden handle that crooks around at the top. And as he walks, he kind of gestures it in the air. And as he does that, the fog swirls around the crook part, kind of like a shepherd's crook, in fact. And he sort of pulls it around him and then like behind him, and it sort of follows him like a cloak kind of behind him. And he's got this big leather bag over his shoulder. Other than that, he's dressed pretty simply. He has like a tunic on and like a leather belt with more of this white metal sort of stitched into it. And it has a torque, which is that metal neck brace.
Can I take a photo of the guy?
You can take a photo, sure.
Sure, I'll take a photo.
No photography, please.
Does it? It's not the same metal as the chisel, is it?
One.
It appears to be the same metal in that they were both like brilliant white, not especially.
It's very heavy, isn't it? The chisel was super heavy, wasn't it?
The chisel was pretty heavy. It was like specifically designed to be as light as possible, and it was still very heavy. His sword does not look like it's designed to be as light as possible.
That's a giant. That's okay.
His Wynn's eyes gleaming and like, finally a challenge I'm worthy of my skills, and fucking jumps in.
Finally a challenge worthy of my skills.
1v1. Exactly.
Oh, he's fucking massive.
Yeah, he's also a huge creature.
Jeez.
He's probably about
They're the biggest, aren't they? Not that I know that.
second biggest.
Oh yes.
I think he's like at least 20 something feet. Maybe 30.
The lion turtle's gargantuan.
Oh no, he's like 20. He's like 20 feet tall.
Jeez.
He's a bit bigger than the average. Hello, yes.
Can we conjugate it some more? Can we say we can be friends? Do you think that could be?
I think
maybe you've never met.
Don't ask for covenant, guys. Whatever you do.
You could definitely figure something to that effect out.
That's why I'm reticent to speak primordial at it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I get you. I shouldn't have closed that page. I should have kept that open. That would be a useful page to have open right now.
You mean his monster sheet?
No, the thingy-me-bob.
Should I just...
giant?
Try the rock language.
Should I just try...
No.
Should I just
No, the last time we spoke that, they said, you get 3 questions, then we kill you.
I'm hesitant on speaking.
This guy is
speaking
4 times the size of the god.
I'm really not going to try that unless he prompts it.
Hmm.
So we're like, oh god, we're up to his fucking knees. This is
You are
not.
very small.
But he probably would understand it.
What if I just try speaking in common at him?
Try that.
Go for it.
Go for
I mean, you're the one talking to him.
Yeah, I
He's
guess I
off
am.
whites, I guess. So.
He's getting so much action today, jeez. Good. Come on.
I mean, I think I would probably like drop my spear on the floor at this point, at seeing like how big he is.
Sure.
I was like,
like-
holy fuck.
Because I'm gonna like, yeah, partly out of war, partly out of like, I need to make some gesture. If I can't explain like in complex terms, I'm not gonna fight him.
Dropping that, he does not seem to respond to that as if it's like a haha nest. He's dropped his weapon, gonna go cut his head off now.
Yeah. I guess I'll ask him. Do you understand this tongue? My giant is very bad.
He kind of winces.
Oh.
The language of the wild.
In check?
King. And then he points at himself.
Oh,
Oh, he's the king of the forest.
is he married? He's wearing rings. That's
King?
it.
Well, Hild mentioned something about a prince.
He seems frustrated that he's having difficulty communicating in common,
Oh, that makes sense.
to put it mildly.
Yeah. I guess we could keep trying to learn do giant, I guess.
Or ask him the same question in other languages that aren't Elvish.
He points at you all, he sort of gestures at you all and says, So could you make a check of some sort to try and translate that?
Should I try and flick through the book?
Yeah, someone can help you as well at this point. You guys are in this together.
Oh no!
You got a couple words
It
out of it.
was too quick.
It was too quick. You got like...
It was complicated. There was complex like verbs in there.
You got the word... You basically... The first bit was kind of bad, and then the next bit kind of ended with something to do with forgiving.
Okay. That's not enough to go on.
Fortunately not. And then after he says that, he kind of says, Como. No. Morg. Boom.
Drop the I'm sorry stone.
Very good.
Very good.
He with again, you want to make another
There's
check just
more
quickly.
and more again.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, with the amount of help, with someone helping. Basically, he said something like, "I am a graceful king."
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
I guess I would bow.
He seems pretty pleased with that.
Yeah.
Oh.
I guess we'll all bow.
Moo.
Something, just he obviously he has an ego of a, or anyone that believes himself as a king.
I don't want to get squashed, so I'll join in.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the right thing to do as a diplomat.
I'm still advocating the rock language.
Then
You know
can
what?
speak it then.
Then you could speak it at him. I don't know the rock language.
Yes, your enlarged thing. How big can you make me?
I look at you and go, not large enough.
Fuck.
Damn it. Gonna switch over to Rune Knight now.
Although I could enlarge him.
Oh god. So it's like 40. Oh no.
I think he'd like that.
Oh no.
Pretty sure bad.
No.
I think he'd like that.
Reduce him.
Oh no.
He
He
would
would
dislike
not
that one.
like that.
It's like the good and bad word and giant.
As you guys have knelt down, the line has kind of circled around behind you, sort of like padding around very heavily
Okay.
behind you.
Hmm.
Kind of circling you guys. Not getting closer, but it's keeping an eye on you guys.
Okay, next time we come up here, we should bring our Goliath friends,
Oh yeah,
if we can.
definitely.
That is a very good idea.
Yeah.
As you guys are kneeling, he kind of seems to like begin a long speech. So this is going to be
Oh boy.
difficult to like keep up with, essentially.
Is it like
I'm not
3
gonna-
checks or something? I don't know.
It's probably like at least 10 minutes of him rumbling incredibly loudly.
I really hope he's not making us his knights.
I'd probably miss
no.
the beginning, but I would definitely scramble for paper and try and at least phonetically note down what he's saying.
I think basically there's at least 2 people can help translate, and the rest of you can like try and read his body language.
Okay.
I don't have good insight. Is anyone trained in insight?
Yeah, I am. I got +5.
I'll make the check if anyone else,
Yeah,
someone else wants to.
Yeah, I guess someone else go for it. So I actually my intention is like
Actually, I'm gonna-
I have 3
I
on it. So
I want to get a look at the line.
This Fernbrand should make
circling
the check.
us.
Sure, you can check out the line.
I want to know whether it's a magic line.
Okay, well, Phil, Miss Fernbrand, you go first with the line because that's the simplest bit for now.
I guess nature?
Yeah, that should be fine.
Get nature.
Okay, it's not great, but it's. But you know, for example, you guys were looking at the monstrous quote unquote creatures, the harpies and the manticore and stuff, and those were like freaky and wrong. This is just a big animal.
Oh, that's really.
I mean, it's a super big animal, like it's huge. It probably eats pretty well, considering, like, and you know that there's sort of magic in the land, so that might explain some of it. But it's not a. It doesn't look like a horrible monstrosity made from magic gone wrong or gone right, but done by evil people.
I wonder whether he speaks infernal, but I also don't want to get squashed.
Infernal, the most peaceful language.
Could the body language people, could you insight with advantage if you're helping each other, which I assume
Oh,
you're.
sure.
22! Big insight! He seems incredibly proud of he's and looking at him, he's got like a big old beard, but he looks quite young. Like he doesn't have
it's a
sort of
covered
big deep
bitch.
wrinkles around the eyes. He's smooth complexion.
Maybe
And
some
he has an
kids.
he's kind of neat, his head's kind of like hunched down, but when he's doing the speech, he kind of straightens up, and he has a very athletic sort of build. He's not like flabby and old. He seems very driven by what he's saying. He believes in it, whatever it is, and he thinks it's good. That's for sure.
Okay.
Do we hear the word white said at all?
Well, give me the translation roll. and
who's doing that?
I'll
I
do
don't-
it.
It's a right. I think it was.
+1. But
Yaz
Intelligence.
was one of the people
Is
who was-
Is it-
If it's intelligence, I've got +2.
There you
I'll
go.
assist.
That'll-
Yeah.
that'll-
Okay,
So,
I'll keep.
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna roll it.
Do
You
it.
got advantage. Oh,
Yeah,
Nice.
that's pretty good.
Not too bad.
Okay, so again, it's difficult to keep up, so I'm not going to give it verbatim.
Yep,
Also,
that's
that'd be a
fair.
real pain in my ass. But
I
he's
want a
basi-
10-minute speech.
I know, right?
Come on, do it.
There'll be a lot of 10 minutes of me going, and then this.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna-
that'd be no good for anyone.
I don't
He
think we-
talks about how the Ordning has failed. The Storm Giants have failed. They are stuck in the past. It is because of them that they were betrayed. It is because of them that they fell. The treachery. He wants to move past that. He wants to rebuild the Ordning. It's been people have taken advantage of it. People have. The Giants have forgotten their ways. They've forgotten who they are. They've forgotten who they're supposed to serve, who they're supposed to work for, and what they're supposed to be doing. And he intends to build anew the Giant Kingdom.
Is he holding a rally?
One cloud at a time is the way he would put it as well. And and at the end he sort of gathers. He swirls the crook end of his sword around as well, and gathers a cloud of fog. And it sort of he grips it in a hand. He sort of squeezes it, and it sort of solidifies, and it sort of floats in the air as still looking like a cloud, but it sort of seems pretty solid. And he sort of pushes it towards you all, and there's a sort of like 2 foot wide sort of cloud that sort of drifts down towards you, and it sort of doesn't even change shape now. It seems solid, essentially.
Okay.
I think we're supposed to step on it? Is it what-
It's not huge, but you can all step on it.
Oh,
Yeah, can we step on? Yeah.
After he sort of sends, he gives you this cloud. You kind of touch it, and yeah, it's kind of like styrofoam in that it's very light.
Yeah.
But it holds its shape pretty well, and it sort of floats where you leave it in the air. But applying any weight to it sort of pushes it down to the ground. Like you couldn't like hold up. You could hold up like a piece of paper with it, but not anything heavier than that really. And he kind of finishes his speech by saying once again that he is a gracious king, and he is open to forgiving what he refers to as whites, as in the humanoid races for their betrayal. And then he sort of he stabs his sword into the ground, not violently, he just sort of sticks it in there, and he puts his other hand on top of
triumphantly.
it. And he sort of nods his head at you all.
Okay, well that is mostly good news, I think.
We're still alive, guys.
I stand back up. I think that's what he wants.
Yeah.
He picks his bag back up off the ground, which he has slung on his back, and he takes his sword and he sort of looks at you all. He looks like he's sort of getting ready to walk off, to be quite honest.
Ask him for his name.
Yeah. Can I?
That's got to be right at the front of that book.
Yeah. What is your name?
Como tu llama?
Como te llamas?
Would I need a roll? Would you need me to roll for that, or can I just?
No, you can do that. Again, that would be one of the phrases that's just kind of in there.
Yeah, I would.
And he turns back and he says something. Okay, let me get the glossary.
Sure.
The right words in here.
Gives a smile, winks. You know who I am. Leaves.
My name's
Right
Brittany,
off.
bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Me? I know who I am.
No. Oh God. And that's
So
now
it
in my head.
He says Kong Mir, which
Mir.
would be King Mir, essentially.
King Mir.
I think that maybe we should make the ram symbol on a piece of paper. Maybe give it to him and say that means us.
Oh,
Because
sure.
if we're going to start marking territory soon,
True.
It's true.
so he could at least know that it would at least be good for him, probably. I don't know if it would maybe be. It would be saying what represents us in return.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
I
fine.
think.
He might just think it's a drawing of the Ultra Sheep.
Well, I would motion to us. It would be within context.
I mean,
It's true.
we're less than a day's travel away, so we could just point to where we are, like
Yeah.
down the hill.
And yeah,
Right down the road.
Point down the hill and the symbol.
Yeah.
you might be able to figure something out that you could say as well with the book.
Sure.
That would be, directions are a pretty good one for phrase books.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, yeah,
by the
come on, guys,
seaside,
let's get
where do
something
you go to
together.
holiday?
Across
say-
the bridge.
The thing is, I don't know if it's worth trying to get into it when we're so like. I don't know. Maybe we should come back with someone who can speak it a bit better before
Yeah.
going into more
We can-
complex concepts like we aren't from here.
Yeah.
Sure.
We
That's
could.
why
A symbol
I-
is a good idea. I think a symbol
Just
is a
like
good
to
idea.
represent us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that
Also, maybe another part of our intent of like discovery or travel or something like that.
I was going to say we could ask if we're allowed passage here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could we ask? Could we say like we are? Should I say we are explorers? Is that,
Yeah.
Sure.
And then are we allowed to
The top.
be here, to travel here?
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea.
Should I make a roll to see if I can conjugate that?
Yeah, sure. It wouldn't be too
Concept.
bad.
We don't
Wouldn't
want
be
this
too
guy to
bad,
turn
but yes.
around as soon as we leave.
Can someone help me
And,
look at the book,
and even
please?
I
the worst
will
that you'll
you.
the worst that you'll do is he won't understand what you mean.
Yeah.
I'll give you guidance on that as well.
Oh, nice.
Oh, the power.
Yeah.
Just triple power.
You get,
So sorry.
that's a daily. You can only do it once per session.
Purple monkey dishwasher?
Make it based on.
I did a
Oh,
15 again.
Oh, 15 again.
With
That's
a-
even nice.
with a
Get
guidance.
that D4,
With a
on
D4.
just in case.
Come on.
Oh, 3.
Oh.
That's massive
Nice.
guidance.
You sure that was
Um,
D4?
yeah.
Yeah, I think I rolled a
Roll a
D8.
bubble
that
I
one.
think it was 3 D4s.
day. So yeah, so you're saying that you are exploring and asking if you're like allowed, if he's okay with you guys being around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, and I'll let you translate what he says back with that intelligence roll. You've got the book out. You're using it. And so basically he would say something along the lines of, this isn't mine yet.
Oh,
Okay.
Dude, he is holding a rally, guys. He's fishing for votes.
Dude, go where you will in peace. You have my forgiveness.
Okay.
I will say thank you from the book.
Is there phrases for like less than a kingdom in there?
There's home, for example. Like Heim is something that he used when he was talking in that as well. Heim's word for
Because
home.
we should probably say that like we're more organised than 6 people.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't use the phrase kingdom for that.
There's tribe as well.
Yeah.
I saw we're a tribe. Yeah.
Can we say tribe of the Ramsey? That work?
You could definitely figure something like that out. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
without too much difficulty as well.
Yeah, and then we'll give him the symbol.
Do we have maps on us of this place? Like,
you probably have this map that you're looking at in the physical form. This is the map that you have you have here, and then you'll get a new one when you can tell everything to the lady who drew it, which was me.
Okay.
Because saying tribe and like saying that where we make home is not saying like, oh, here's a kingdom, come take it.
Yeah.
Sure, you can distinguish that.
Yeah, we'll just point.
And your A team is pretty good. I'll let you have that. So you sort of explain, hey, we're over there. We're a group of people, and presumably like-minded people, because we're admitting that we are, kind of thing going on. And he turns back. He's sort of beginning to walk away at this point. And he sort of
no autographs, please.
He sort of waves at the hand of the bag a little bit, like, and he'd probably say something again in German. And is basically in a very very simply something to the effect of you make your home.
Okay. Oh, we've been given permission. Good.
That's good. That's good. But he also.
Do you think we should we go? Should we head back? Because I don't. From there.
I mean,
we were going to Stonetop to scout.
Yeah.
He's kind of walking away from the hill.
Okay.
And as he's walking around, he's sort of scooping up more of this fog, and he's depositing it into the big cloak that sort of falls behind him.
Okay.
Like a long sheet, and the lion sort of looks at you for a bit longer, and then he sort of shouts something to it, and the lion sort of follows after him.
First we had these weird bird creatures, then a witch, then this guy. Oh dear.
I think I've let out a very mighty sigh that I'm still repeating that. Like,
I hand you your spear in Khalid.
North has been very different to South.
Well, that went well.
Thank you, and I'll take it back into my grasp.
You're pretty well there.
I haven't really done much in the way of diplomacy. It's not my speciality, but I think that went as well as it could have.
Definitely. Well, we're all still alive, aren't we?
I'll take that.
I'll say it's gone better than any of the rest of our diplomacy.
Yeah.
To be fair,
good graces of a giant would-be king.
No blood needed. Then again,
there's a lot to unpack there, but at least he didn't seem malicious.
That's
an improvement on everything we've met.
I definitely want to see him again more than Hild.
His trips are also common because Hild complained of him.
True.
Yes.
Also,
it won't be hard to spot as well if we bring the Goliath up here. Just look for a rolling fog cloud.
Guys, yeah?
No, you go.
I'm just saying we should go because it's
late.
I was
going to stop with this.
The last thing I was going to say on the matter was, out of everyone we've met, I think that we may be able to come to a deal with him.
Yeah. He seems the most agreeable by a long shot.
He seems to be.
What do you mean?
He seems
to offer you any information.
He seems to be in the process of trying to become king. Maybe if we give our support in some fashion, he.
I think should have asked if there's more of him.
I suppose, but if we venture off like this again, we'll probably see him again. And this time we'll bring the giants.
Well, obviously we should talk to Count Ramsay about this as well, but let's head off to the Stone Top then.
So you're gonna head upwards from
Yeah,
there.
we need to hurry.
As you guys head up, the fog kind of again is beginning to clear as you head up, and as well the fog's kind of pulling away from you.
Yeah.
So it's a little clear up here, and you can actually see kind of out over the hill somewhat, and you see that there's essentially a lot of rocky hill lands to the north, and you actually see with the telescope in the very far distance there appears to be, if you remember that you saw a great big river down to the south west. Looking to the northwest, you see what looks like a plateau that kind of spans across, and you can see a point where there looks like there's a waterfall, another waterfall, that probably would lead into that river.
Right.
Again, this is probably like 10 miles away. So it's pretty far. But you can see it because you're up high. Okay. Making your way up. Are you going stealthily? Are you going quickly? Are you going...
I think we're up for speed right now.
Yeah,
It's probably getting into about 3:30, maybe up to closer to 4, because you took a while with the translating. That's not quick business, but...
Yeah.
The only threat we know to be aware of at the moment is the things we've encountered previously.
The cockatrices.
Keeping an eye... Oh, well, the guy with the club.
And if there are any enemies, I'm sure they've learned to stay away from him. So maybe if we can find some of these giant phrases, we can shout them if anything else comes around.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because I bet they've learned to stay away from him.
Definitely. Like...
Okay. Wait, sorry, essentially, in the interest of time, it's quite a smooth hill upwards from on this side. The other side, again, quite rocky and jaggedy. But this bit, a nice gentle curve up, and you're getting close to the top, and you can see that there's these standing stones on top. From behind, they look quite rough-hewn, but you can see one of the sides of them is kind of sheer and has been kind of made smooth. But you are now close enough to be able to approach it however you wish.
Alright. Well...
Is it just sort of like an open top with these standing stones, or is
Yeah, the trees sort of break, actually. There's, again, not a clear border because the trees are getting more and more spaced out as you go up, but they sort of... Around the stones at the top there appears to be no trees. There's a few bushes and like ferns, not very big ones, but it's pretty smooth. Not easy to hide anywhere in a tree, if that's what you're wondering.
Yeah, exactly. I presume we'd scan the tree line, but otherwise just head straight up.
Yeah, let's just head in, I'd say.
Okay.
Agreed.
Yes.
Okay, let me just make a... Oh, shit. Wow. One thing's failing a lot of rolls today.
Is he fucking back? I swear.
It's another stealth roll from an enemy.
No, this was a perception check.
Okay.
I will say that Balin has a lot.
No, yeah, you're not going to be surprised. Something else is going to be surprised.
Oh.
It
Nice.
failed to notice you guys.
We're meeting so much new stuff today. It's amazing.
Let me just count 1, 2, 3.
It's gonna be that big hobgoblin who's just gonna be sitting around a campfire.
Yeah. So as you guys are
Sasquatch.
walking up, not being quiet, but you're not like none of you are falling over and going, "Oh bloody hell!" And yeah, I'll calm down a bit. So we're saying.
Where's the lamb sauce?
You figure that there's probably about 8 standing stones. So obviously that picture's not completely accurate. Of sort of equal size, and as you walk up, the sun is setting in the where is it set usually? In the west. That's correct. Pretty much directly. And you can actually see that the moon is beginning to rise up in the east, directly eastwards of this. And you can actually see from where you're standing that they're going to line up pretty nicely. Essentially, you are on these standing stones. As you guys wander up, Balin, are you walking up ahead, or are you?
Because we're not foggy.
Because we're
It's
not.
not too foggy up here. No, it's kind of it's above the fog line.
Because we're not stealthy, I say.
You can actually see the twirling hole in the
I think
fog
we are
kind
moving
of
together,
drifting away.
probably, right?
Yeah, we should just walk as a group, I think.
Yeah. We'd probably still
Okay.
be as a group after that.
Sure.
There are too many dangerous things here.
You head up and you see a big circle of stones, as I say, smooth on the inside with giant runes carved into the stone on the flat side. Not very complicated ones, quite large, and they look very organized, very neat, very tidy. And kind of in the middle of the clearing is a very large figure, and quite stocky figure with a cloak over its back. It's again probably like 15 feet tall. Another huge creature is sort of it's kneeling down next to one of the stones, and it seems to be fussing about it somehow. Not very quickly, not with much rush, but it's doing something on the ground next to one of these stones, and it has not noticed you.
So it's smaller than the giant.
It's a bit smaller than the bigger giant, yes.
What are we seeing?
You're seeing a big, crouched, like 15-foot tall, rotund man kneeling next to one of these standing stones.
Okay.
That has not heard you.
Craig got a giant book again.
Is there a giant word for
Nice little brings reference there.
Friends of Kongmere.
We are the Knights of Kongmere.
I mean, hello's a good start.
Mm.
Oh.
So you do that? You're going to shout hello in giant to it? Is that the plan?
Sam?
Is it armed?
I don't know. It's up to you. It's up to you.
Is that all?
You got the book, but anyone could steal it from you. Never gave it to you, and asked you to keep it in good nick.
Soul bounded to you. You cannot take the book.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if that's what we think's a good idea, I'll do it.
So you call out with a greeting that in the book says this is a friendly greeting, and it goes oh, and it turns around, and there is, let me just put it's got a rock in a hand, and it's got a big bag in another hand, a bulging like a leather sack in its other hand, and it has this sort of rough talk around its neck, and its clothes are much less nice than the fog guy's clothes were, and it looks like it can't see you especially well in the darkness, but it's looking in your direction.
The darkness? What?
It can't see like very well.
Right.
It's not looking like at you directly. It's kind of looking in the direction of the noise that it heard.
Yeah.
You kind of recognize that it is saying words, but it's the equivalent of a man going like, "Hey man, how are you?" So it's kind of difficult to understand it,
Oh dear.
even with the book.
Has he got a really thick accent?
Kinda. He
It's
seems
like
he seems a lot-
it's like trying to speak to a Scouser.
He's speaking a lot slower.
Yeah.
So in theory, it's easier, but he's not doing his words.
He's not articulating very well.
Can we translate we are friends of Kongmere?
Can I do that?
Sure.
Yeah, you can do
Sure.
that. Go nuts. Give me an int. This is a more complicated one.
Okay.
Can I give him guidance?
There's nothing to hit right now. You can just hit this guy if you want.
Someone want to give me help as well on the
Yeah.
advantageous. I was like, come over here.
Yeah. Look at the
Don't need it.
Oh, nice.
Jesus, I don't need you. Get away from
Come
me.
here, get away.
You're looking through it. You pick some choice phrases. You think this is pretty good.
I'd also say it like a little bit slower as well.
Sure. Okay.
Just because it seems to maybe be a bit intellectually limited.
As you begin speaking, kind of like cocks an ear towards is like, and it's sort of paying attention. And as you mention Mir and the King Mir, he sort of goes, with that intelligence, he's basically saying, "No, Storm Giant King."
Oh, there's an usurper. Oh.
He in fact picks up the rock that he's got and throws it in your general direction, and he goes like over your head. Like you could feel the wind like pushing you back. Like baseball throws over your head,
I think he doesn't like the guy too much.
I think maybe.
Looks like our friend's calling himself king when he shouldn't.
Should we?
He did say he's a king.
Can we see what else do we see in this the stone top area?
So the stones appear to be again. They have giant runes carved into them, very large. It kind of reminds you of the prayer that you guys saw carved very small into the wall next to the iron stones. And the floor it's a wide, quite flat top actually between the rocks. It's got little stones lining it essentially, not like tiles, but sort of stuck into the ground in a wide circle. And could you make a perception check, please? Because you're looking around.
Yeah.
You're also looking in the correct direction, so.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, they're not completely uniform, the stones, for some reason. There's something a bit weird about the way that they're positioned. It's not like perfectly geometric as you might hope.
Has he done anything else after hurling a rock?
He picks up the bag and as he picks up, you see some like basically twigs and rocks fall out of it, and he goes, "No," and he sort of gets up and sort of stumbling away, this way down the hill.
Okay.
Just leave him to it.
Translating what he said as he left was probably along the lines of going home, Chief.
Oh, yeah.
Not as in addressing you as Chief either. See you, Chief. No, it's he's yeah.
Can we see the rock where he threw, or is it gone?
It's gone. Yeah,
I'll say goodbye to him in giant as he goes away.
Flips you off.
What did you say about my mother?
Oh no.
Let's go, bitch.
1v1 me.
Oh no.
He sort of stumbles away.
Only stones allowed for fighting.
1v1 me, stone top, no items.
No.
He keeps his bag of rocks on him.
Yeah, he keeps hanging rock.
That's more special. It doesn't count.
So yeah, if you want to make any investigations about what these are, then now would be time to do that.
Should we move and have a look around the top of the area? Sorry.
Those are
Don't you
good
have
investigators to
detect
investigate.
magic? Doesn't have someone detect?
I do have detect magic.
I think that could be a good spot because
I'm gonna do it.
Don't remember that thing because I know you have it.
Okay.
What do your special eyes see?
Okay. Okay.
Detective vision.
So, with that detect magic, you see that the two stones that are lined up where the moon will pass them have some it hasn't got a spell cast on it, but you can tell that it again is like a component in something. It is and investigating more carefully as you see that there's something going on with it, you can see that it looks like it's been altered to be used that way.
Okay.
Like these stones have been moved somewhat so that they are closer together, and the sides have been like shaved down in bits, so they're not. Again, they're smooth on the side, but now they're smooth together. Well, presumably this was Stonehenged, and then someone's changed it again.
Okay.
What does it say? What does it have a genre of magic? No, it just says if it is magic, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, school
you
of
learn
magic
at
as well.
school, if anything.
Yeah.
Oh, now I gotta look up what school is. Gosh, no, that's why I had to do it last time. I should just memorize every single spell.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, actually.
That'd be the smart thing to do.
I know.
Any bad
Memorize.
DMs don't memorize every
spell.
spell.
This is my second other thing.
Haven't you bought everything on D&D Beyond so we can just look it up easy?
I am looking it up easily, but not by buying it. It's conjuration.
Shit.
Oh,
Okay.
it's going to summon something. I mean,
You ain't never.
or-
You don't know
or-
what magic schools do good, but yes, the conjure does imply certain things, doesn't it?
The stone that the giant we just met was near.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does it look like the he was doing anything there? Are the carvings fresher, or
No,
is it a sign of work at all?
It looks like the stones themselves look pretty maintained. Like they're not covered in moss or anything. So it probably might have been cleaning it, to be honest.
Okay.
Or maybe reading it very close, like George Burns. I mean, like some guy who can't read good.
Balin, may I borrow the spyglass?
Yeah, knock yourself out.
Sure. I took the spyglass.
Yeah.
I take the spyglass and then I cast levitate.
Ooh.
And I'd like to float quite a bit into the air, and then I'd like to look in the direction that the giant was moving.
Sure. Could you give me a perception with advantage, please? And I will definitely tell you
the goofball.
See how much.
Easy
check.
Take a good look around at everything else while you're up there.
You got a great vantage point.
Okay, perception.
Yarsh.
This is the bit where you get plucked off by a giant eagle.
Oh, very good.
Oh,
Okay.
brilliant.
19.
Almost. You see him as he's sort of wandering down, and you see that there, in the jagged rocks here, there is some more piles of rocks, and then you're looking more closely, they might be little houses essentially, and you can actually see as you look, you're following the line of little, and by little I mean they're little from your perspective here, but they're very big if you were to walk down to them. Not complicated.
Is the position
is
in
it
the
here?
downs? Oh, where is it?
You know, it's like here. I'm on the wrong thing. It's like this sticking out bit essentially.
Oh wow, so there's
Same
actually
place.
Sort of on the river, or like by the
Place
river.
that Mir was heading, right?
No, he was walking out that way.
He was walking this way.
Oh, he
to
was
the
walking
west.
that way.
And you follow the houses along, and you actually see there's a pile of food. Like there's a Ghibli-esque feast laying out on the ground. By that I mean literally like there's pies, there's like roasted meat. It looks ridiculous in this landscape. It doesn't make any sense. And you see
we're looking for food.
You see
Feels
another
suffering.
few giants sort of stumbling around there, and one in particular is sitting at this big pile of food, who looks, well, I'll show you what he looks like. He looks like this, and he has above his head a little floating crystal that circles his head,
He has an ironstone.
and he looks a lot older, and he is eating ravenously, like he's just sitting there stuffing food into his mouth. And the one that you see is making his way down there. He probably won't take super long to get there. You probably have like 10-15 minutes before he gets down there.
Okay.
What a chonker.
I take it neither of the giants you've encountered so far reacted to either of the iron stones we have active.
They didn't appear to, no.
Okay.
What's that low-level trash you got there? I was like,
Rubbish, dude.
I come back down, and then I walk over to the group and I let them know that there's a village down there.
oh, a real place.
Yeah, it seems to be a few giants around, some large stone buildings. There's this giant feast they seem to have down there, and this rather larger one with one of those floaty stones is eating it. I'm wondering, you said that this place was lined up with the moon and conjuration stuff? Maybe it's a ritual because the brightest night is coming soon.
Tis.
And I mean, we know festivals in our kind, we always celebrate them with feasting.
True.
Yeah.
I wonder where they got all the food from.
That's a
Do you
good
think we
point.
should stake this place out at the brightest night? But then,
Well, I'm worried what our friend, or maybe friend, who just is running down the hill might tell his friends. If he's going to say lots of small food up there.
We best not dawdle then, but
I would love to make contact, but they seem to rather a pain to talk to. Maybe once we can communicate better, we should come back.
bring the
Having
Goliaths
the
on
giant-
yeah, what if we head down and then next morning we bring the Goliaths up to here?
think
Does that
that's
sound
a
like a good idea?
Well, once you filled the council in.
Yeah, of course, but like I think that's a good idea. We now know what's here, where not to go, definitely for most people. And if we just head straight there, we can actually have a proper conversation.
Yeah, and don't call Mir Kong, I guess.
Yep.
Apparently.
Do you make note of the carvings on the stones, by the way?
You probably should.
We're here to check the place out.
You can just sort of write them down, right? You can just sort of trace them or whatever, copy them down.
Can I take a look?
Do some beef rubbing
in the stone top. Are any herbs up here at this top?
Make a check, please. I guess nature we used before, right?
Yeah, makes sense to me. Good nature.
When don't you have
pretty good.
When don't you have stonemason's tools or something?
He does have stonemason's tools, yes, and he could look into that. Around the two stones that sit, which appears to be part of some other conjuration thing, around them are growing these little weeds that are quite peculiar. They have a sort of
giant leaves.
Dark purple. They're not very big. They have this sort of purple tinge to them, and the leaves are quite sort of dark. They're small enough that you probably wouldn't. You only notice because you were looking for plants, and they are only growing around those two.
Ooh.
And on the inside of them, essentially, kind of being a line along the ground as well.
I think I'll get enough to make something out of it, but I'm not taking everything because that would disrupt whatever's up here. So I'm taking as much that seems reasonable for my kind of knowledge of herbs and stuff, and
Sure.
Yeah.
Obviously, scout around. I mean, look around with the spyglass because we're up here to scout. Can we see much towards the downs and towards the west?
Okay. Could you make a perception check again with advantage because you do have the spyglass and you're looking. Oot. This is going on a second.
Of course.
I mean, I can describe the basic shape of stuff. Basically, there's a larger hill actually to the northwest, relatively close, probably no more than 2 or 3 miles out. It's probably about 50% taller than this one, and it has a sort of a cloud top around it, essentially.
Is it fair to say that considering we had like a proper vantage point, that we would have an increase of the map?
I haven't drawn it yet, so no.
I know. No.
Yes, you will have a better map as a result of this. Yes.
Yeah.
So
nice.
you can see the downs extend up to the north pretty far, with rocks sticking out of them. You can't, and you can see that there's a plateau, as I said before, that sort of curves around from quite far to the north. You can't exactly tell where. Quite far to the north, and then down around to the south, kind of like a big C shape.
Sure.
Kind of. So, and you can see as well the bridge sticks out into this plateau and sort of meets on its level, and you can see that there's some structure where they meet.
Okay.
Though hard to tell. It's like 20 miles away, so it's pretty hard to tell. It looks. There's like a central taller building, and then like some ring around it or something. And then again, you can see more clearly as well that there's the trees sort of slope down to the south, and there's a sort of swampy area and a river that cuts through it.
Right, I think we should skedaddle.
I think we should get out. Yeah.
Well, which direction will you be taking outwards?
Well, honestly, considering if we go down here, we're gonna have to deal with the giants, and we don't want to do that now, from what I understand. So I think we would like kind of skitter around the forest side, considering particularly that we are now cool with that part.
Sure. Yeah, head straight down and then out. I get you.
Yeah. I mean, it's honestly safer for us than anyone who would be in the forest at this point. So it's like. Yeah.
As far as we know, the only thing we need to worry about in that forest at the moment is goblin and hobgoblin activity. Stick to the edge of the territory, make our way to the bridge.
That's boring.
As you guys have beginning to leave, you're picking up your stuff. You've made a copy of what it says on these runes pretty effectively. It's not super complicated, so no check needed for that. And as you leave, the sun has actually set and you see that the moon is now perfectly aligned with these two walls, these two stones, and you see there's a shimmer along their edges, like of a sort of white moonlight, essentially, along the very edge of the stones, making a basically what looks like a door.
What?
Not like a door you could walk through, but a rectangle, essentially. But you guys hear as well stomping coming up the hill.
Okay.
From that direction.
So I guess we
Dodged a bullet.
I would toss a rock through that.
It goes through, as in, it through to the other side. It doesn't.
Oh, you hit the giant who was standing on the other side.
Yeah.
No.
And then he chucks it back, takes its head off.
No, kills him instantly, and then we now have done a giant murder.
Yeah.
Giant crime.
Look at the giant court.
We've done giant crime. We're gonna
seems
do
to
the
quite
giant
bigger
court.
if the body is bigger.
Definitely.
Let's make ourselves scarce.
They're gonna take us before Big Judy.
I'm not sure, Subri. Isn't something going on right now?
I mean, there's like what it sounds like at least like 6 giant running up the hill.
Oh,
Oh jeez.
Yeah, any less, I'd say hide and watch, but no, let's leave.
yeah.
You guys can hide and watch if you want, but
I mean, I think
well, I
we can
mean,
at least.
it's up to you.
I mean, the fog is very thick. If we have a spyglass, we could look from afar. But it's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's just an idea. I'm not asking to
there's
stay around
a-
for an hour. I'm
You
just-
you could get to a safe distance, definitely, and they seemed pretty stupid. So you might not be able to get very close, but you could probably be within like 100 feet and
Yeah.
able to get away, you reckon, and
yeah, just
you know,
Yeah.
observe somewhat.
just see what they're doing for like a few minutes,
Okay.
and if
If we think we could chance it, because particularly I'm more concerned about our less stealthy.
Well, I think the stealth of like heavy armor comes from when you're moving in it. So
If we're just staying
I'll
still,
say the
then
same,
yeah, I guess.
honestly.
yeah, but
Just-
I'll use your like passive stealths, as it were, for right now, and we'll see. So
Try and keep the shiny bits out of direct moonlight.
yeah, you guys have time to like prep your hiding spots. So maybe the least stealthy ones are a bit further back, as it were. As you hear them arrive. Essentially, you can't really see them too well. Occasionally, when one comes to the edge of the standing stones, it sort of looks up, going, and you see there's probably about 5 or 6 of them, as you guessed, including the guy with the rock above his head, the stone floating above his head,
No.
and they sort of seem stomping around. You can't really hear because they are like speaking so unclearly at this distance. It's kind of hard to. You probably wouldn't be able to get individual words out well enough to translate.
Do they all look the same? The same kind of build, same kind of clothing?
Similar. I think I actually have a picture of another one that has like I haven't uploaded it. I'll put it on Discord. They do have vaguely different faces, but they're all similar. Yeah.
Yeah. Compared to the other one we saw.
Yeah.
Compared to
Yeah.
me.
The one that's most distinct is this very old-looking one who's got the stone above his head. Where is it? It's in here. And as they're sort of milling about, the light from the rectangle glows very bright for a second, and it kind of illuminates the whole rest of the stones. And you see, give me perception, and you'll get something obviously, but depending on how much of a something you get.
So everyone.
Yeah, please. That's the other giant. He's got sideburns. And
So did you say perception?
Yes, please. Ooh, pretty good. Oh, Baden, it's too bright. You blink. So the most of you, Ben doesn't see, but you see coming out from between those two stones is like a swirling mass of clouds with electricity sparking across them, and I will show you, in fact, even a picture as a sort of, not really a figure, but like a helmet comes out of the clouds.
Ooh.
And you see it sort of forming around, and it's kind of it also speaks to them, but its voice is like very low. It's very quiet. You can tell that you can hear that it's speaking, but it doesn't seem to be. You might have expected like a voice, like a rolling thunder, but it seems unusually calm and, you know, in normal people tones you might expect, essentially. So yeah, is there anything you're gonna do? You gonna do about that?
I'll just charge in. No. I mean, if we can't hear what it says.
Yeah, it's kind of not whispering, but it's speaking softly.
I guess we would just watch for about another 5-10 minutes, and then if nothing changes, we'd leave.
I guess that makes sense.
Watching for a bit longer, it appears to conclude what it's saying, and the giant sort of, you can see that they're kneeling in front of it, and it goes back between the stones. The light still sort of remains where the stones are, but this cloudy figure is gone, and you can kind of see that giants are beginning to stomp out in every direction out of the the stones.
Yeah, we should probably get out if you don't want to confront them.
That's fair enough.
Right, guys?
Yeah, definitely, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's pretty easy going downhill. Again, not too much to disturb. You make good pace down. I assume you guys are just sort of hightailing it out of there.
Yeah. We need to get home before it gets too dark. So
Before it's pitch black.
You reach down to the bottom of the fog. Actually seems to kind of cleared up quite a bit. It's very dark now though. And you get to the edge of the hilled area of the wood, and you can follow it out and then down along the forest edge, essentially. No problemo.
So is the bloodwood only that specific circle?
It's from now you've come up both ends. It's like it's like a circle.
Okay.
It's a patch of wood that's about nearly a mile across.
Okay.
But yeah, okay. So you guys make it back out onto the plains. It is now night time.
I shall write down in the book. Stay away from the Red Forest.
Okay, yeah, as in you're sending, right, okay.
We met an enormous giant. Asked the Goliath for help to communicate with fellow giants tomorrow. That's it, I think.
Okay. Well, they'd probably respond after a minute with like another exclamation mark, like giants, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And say, hurry back. All well here. Dragonborn returned.
Oh. Very good. Fucking double pace now, guys.
Yeah, I get an extra 5-third movement.
Okay. This isn't. This area of the grass is much shorter than the long grass that was down by the thing, so you're not going to be able to be snuck up upon like you were before.
Quite so easily.
I definitely won't be.
Yeah. Are you just going to follow?
For vampire sheep.
That's true. You've always got to be aware of the vampire sheep. But yeah, I guess you follow just the path that Baden originally took along the forest edge then.
This down section.
I think we're on the same route, that's the idea.
Okay, yeah, I'm fine with
There's no safe
Unless we
route.
want to kill the ultra sheep guys.
Yeah, gotta hunt the ultra sheep.
Have we seen a dead ultra sheep?
You haven't looked for one. One has been killed for the town. There is one of them has been deaded for them, for your purposes. But you have not come across like a wild dead one, as it were. Naturally dead. Non-humanly dead one. Anyway.
Died of natural deadage.
You guys can make your way pretty quickly along.
Sure.
Why are you on are you on a different layer? I put you on the wrong layer.
Yeah.
We can lay this.
I put Balin on the map there.
I don't see any of the characters of ours on the map.
Same.
Do you not?
Do you
I
not?
see everyone.
I haven't seen
I
the
see
whole time.
Yeah, same.
What?
Everyone's here.
No.
Can you?
Big
Yeah.
liar, you guys.
I mean,
I'm gonna reload.
Wait, seriously? We've all been here the entire time.
They've-
Health mark's
yeah.
visible, everything.
Nah.
He's been moving us around.
I
and
mean,
everything.
No.
I mean, yeah, but
I mean,
All
I've
right.
seen the art. I've seen the
Yeah, I've seen when
Oh,
things
it's
appear and stuff. I
not-
just haven't seen us, which is fine.
Yeah.
Weird.
So that's okay.
I
Very
want to
true.
see myself.
Well, I mean, it's just.
I have
you guys
no
where you are.
idea how that would happen.
Yeah.
And now I've reloaded. Now I can see all of us.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just honestly, it's just for 20 minutes.
Just a bug.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I will always have you guys on the world map where where you guys
amazing!
are.
This is such a more interesting picture now than it was for the past 3 hours.
I mean, that's where you guys are. Anyways,
Oh well.
did you not see the tokens I put on?
No, I did.
No, so-
I did. Don't worry, I did.
Okay.
I just
I
didn't
thought-
see.
I'm
ours.
just. As long as you saw the ones that were new.
Yeah, don't worry,
Yeah.
don't worry.
That's why I never brought it up, because
all
everything
good.
that was new and brought up,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I saw. Otherwise, I would have been like, what?
That is all good then. Anyways,
What's our wild encounter that we have?
well, you guys can see pretty
Like
far
chance.
ahead from here,
Yeah.
so you don't have to worry too much about it. Unless you want to be. Is anyone like checking out the forest as you walk past it? Obviously, keeping an eye if you're walking close to it.
Well,
Toon
man,
Balin is.
yeah.
Yeah.
So give us a perception.
Come on,
of that.
Balin. Do your thing. Ugh.
What's it mean 11s today?
Looking at the wood, you don't see anything. It's pretty dark, but you got dark vision, but you don't see guys standing there looking at you. If that's what you're looking for, no.
Ideal.
Ideal. You don't want any of that happening.
That is my 6th 11 of the evening.
Oh my god, terrible. Okay. You guys would probably be able to make it back to the town without much incident, to be quite
Nice.
frank.
Good for us.
Nice.
Again,
Because all the
this
instants
area
were-
seemed more tame than down below, as in this part of this flat bit, as it were. And you get down to the bridge and you make your way along it, back up into the ruined part of the town, and you are. There's no like guard tower on the north side of town yet. There's only one facing south.
Okay.
Guys, after
So-
today, I just want a fortress to protect ourselves. Jesus.
Well, there needs to be. Well, of course, Lord Lawford probably might have mentioned to Yaz in passing at some point when he's nearby him, walking past, that there's going to have to be a town planning meeting to figure out what to build where.
Yeah.
Uh,
That makes sense.
I think
Zoning.
Exactly, you've got to get planning permission. It's going to be a real pain in the ass. But you can arrive back.
Well, that was quite a day.
Yeah, and by the time you guys get back, it's probably like 6 o'clock, to be quite honest.
Oh fuck, we got plenty of time. Let's kill sheep. No.
And I'm going to give you guys.
We do run into.
Let me have a look at what this is worth. You guys will get another 250 XP
Oh, nice.
for some discovery. No murdering, but that wasn't necessary, so that was fine. Sorry for no murdering, guys.
Was it 250 that we got? Someone.
That was just now, yeah.
Yeah,
I
270.
can't remember what I gave you there.
Oh, sick. That is just enough for 4th level.
Oh, is it? That's
Yes.
actually nothing to do with me planning that.
We are full level.
No,
Yeah.
seriously, it's not.
Yeah, I'm on 2770.
Yeah, I got 2770.
Yeah.
I'm on two.
You should all be on the same. You should all be on the
I
same.
know, I know.
Yeah. Well, we'll give or take 10.
I think it's, yeah, give or take 10 or 20 maybe.
No, I went back in afterwards.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I'll give you all the same. 'Cause that was,
Oh, okay.
big
So, excuse me, just I need to correct it again. We're exactly at 270?
Two-
2770.
Ah, okay. Oh, where did 10 came from? It's probably. I don't know. I just probably miscalculated. Anyway. Oh, 4 guys. Oh,
What's for dinner?
What's for dinner? Well, it's definitely not mayonnaise, because I don't.
I'd hope mayonnaise wasn't for dinner.
Yeah.
as you guys get back into town, actually, there's a bit of commotion going on around the rotunda, and you see the Dragonborn there, and there's this big sort of not pallets, that's not the word, but there's a big like cube of boxes that's about 10 about 15 feet tall, actually, 15-foot cube of crates that are tied up with rope in the middle.
Oh.
And Galte probably sees it and says, "Oh, hey guys, good to see you again. I hope you were half as successful as we were."
We've
Is this your hall?
Who else would be? One of the a guard would say, "This was washed up by the coast actually when they arrived back." And Galte would be like, "Well, yeah, we happened to. This was already here, down by the beach."
Fucking asshole.
Well, we've made discoveries.
Yeah, we
Quite a few.
Big news.
Yeah.
Your good news is some comfort. Let's say that.
The count's not out; it's too cold. But there's a couple of the people from the court, like Lawford's here, Lord Lawford, and he's directing some people to pull down one of the crates, and they've got a crowbar to one of them, and they're sort of levering it open, and they pull it open, and it cracks open at the top, and inside is grain.
Oh.
Like a huge sack of grain inside one of these cubes. Again, one of these crates is about... Each one is about a 5-foot block, essentially.
That's a lot. If that's all grain, that's a lot of grain.
Where's this from? Was this overboard
Did we bring this?
in the journey? Or?
Gerald, hello. It was on a boat washed up by the shore. The night guard. He said that there was a moment. He when he looked down there was nothing there, and then when he looked down there a few minutes later, it was there. And there's this as well, and that he has a letter in his hand. This was attached to the top. I can't quite read it though. One of you, perhaps? He hands you a note on incredibly thin, fine paper, and there's a note written in the middle in Sylvan that Wynne would recognise.
Oh.
And it says basically, Wynne would be able to translate that. It says something to the effect of, "It is a shame that you have come here, but this is the situation that we find ourselves in. Stay safe for now. We will be in touch."
What?
Is it signed anything?
No.
We'll file that under the rest of the disquieting things we've learned today.
I actually have like 4 spell slots left. I'm gonna purify food and drink all of that.
Can you purify if you drink that much food?
I just need to.
I know you could get started on it, but there must be a limit.
I know. I will post it to you right now. Let's find out.
Thank you.
In 5-foot radius.
That's a 5 foot.
I dive into it.
I also have that spell as a ritual.
Oh fuck yeah! Here we go,
Okay, cool.
baby.
So you guys,
It's a ritual.
Awesome.
Shit, I didn't even know it's a ritual.
So you guys actually can do that. You
Just to be safe.
basically your test. You're like that for a minute. Lawford's like, it would be very trusting of us to accept this without knowing who's given it, but we are in a rather desperate situation, and you got this. And does it say it doesn't tell you if it was poison to begin with, does it? Or anything like that.
It doesn't say that, I think.
No, you need detect poison.
Sure.
For that.
But yeah, so if there was anything wrong with it before, it's probably fine now, unless it's
Sweet.
magical food. But,
shit.
Yeah.
Well, let me just
This
fuck it.
this script, this tongue, who speaks it? When?
Tombstone, do you know who speaks Sylvan? I guess it's... Oh, Tombstone, you're muted.
What, you mean Wynne or me?
Well, when? Yeah.
Who
Well, you-
usually
You
speaks
said
Sylvan?
Tombstone.
No, I mean
I
Tombstone,
said
actually.
I said Tombstone because you hadn't said anything when I said that it speaks is in Sylvan.
Sorry,
So I wasn't sure if you were here.
I'm so tired.
I know you're tired, but we'll end in a minute.
That's right. That's just yeah.
I'm pretty tired as well.
Would I know who? I don't know.
So you'd know that, for example, the lovely
know
old
about the
lady
Fae?
in the wood had something written in Sylvan,
Sure.
and you know that wood elves often speak it. So it's definitely a Fey-related language.
Right, I can enjoy
it's like a dialect of Elvish, essentially.
Mm. Well,
Not anyone that we know, though.
No.
it's
A friend or benefactor of ours speaks this, but I guess, well, we don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth.
So there's yet another force on the side that knows we're here. I think.
yeah.
I think everyone knows we're here at this point.
Yeah,
which
it wasn't exactly the
back
most.
to Hild.
Yeah,
Let's ask. Back to Hild.
a council meeting sooner rather than later would be a good idea. We've
Sounds
got
like
a
we've
lot
really-
to...
Alright, he'll
shaking
cut
things
my
up.
fucking foot off and tell me where this grain came from.
So yeah, you guys are all, by the way, as well. You are now very, very tired. You're not as tired as that first day because you managed to avoid fighting. So you fought a bit in the morning, you fought the harpies and stuff. But you have again, Gerald will probably say.
Is the idea
we
because
can have a
leveled up-
debriefing in the morning, I think, and Galatea as well. I believe you will have a more comprehensive report on what you've discovered down on the coast as well.
So are we to assume that we have like 2-3 days of downtime again because we leveled up?
There will be some downtime, yes. We'll
To level
talk
up.
about like. Basically, probably there'll be a longish period of downtime peppered with some events.
Right.
Okay.
But basically, for those events, I will let you be level 4, no problemo. You won't have to wait for like 4 full weeks. But yeah. Anyway.
Well, 4's a smaller thing than 5, for example. I feel
Exactly,
as well,
yeah. So yeah, you guys will you'll have a debriefing, and there'll be a new map and all this and all that. Probably won't be next week. It might be the week after or something. But lots of things.
So much stuff. You got to show off so much art, which I'm sure you're happy about, because now you can post it.
I drew again because you guys could have gone north at the beginning.
Yeah.
So I had to have all those people drawn
As well.
like a month ago.
Oh,
Yep.
Means I didn't have to draw them today.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Anyway,
So that was all right.
so much information. I will say though,
Intrigue.
we need ways to properly talk to these people because it's like we're always struggling to communicate with anyone.
I mean, are you complaining at me about that, or are you saying that you need to sort that out?
Kind of both.
Yeah. We're learning at least what tongues matter to different people and what not to use where.
Why does it say that?
Don't level up your
Mostly-
stuff now.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the
We took average from what I know. I mean, we can, I guess. We did it last time.
I think everyone's taken average for a bit.
Yeah. I remember Balin saying he doesn't want to take chances, which is completely fair.
Yeah, I've taken the average everything so far. I can't risk
No,
getting
you
less
can't.
than 4.
You really fucking can't, dude. You could take tough
but-
now, I guess, but like.
No,
It'd probably just be better to level up your con if you were going to do that. Because
Yeah.
then at least
I
your
mean,
con's
I'm gonna be attacking Infernal Constitution, which is gonna be fucking great.
go crazy. Right, yeah, so you guys would probably go straight to bed because it's late and
Yeah.
in both the game.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell my mom about terrible things like that. I'll do it in the morning. I don't want to
Yeah,
stretch it now.
you're not worried about how you're going to sleep though.
Maybe we'll go into
Let's
that.
see what happens.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have nice dreams again.
yeah,
Despite the nightmare, my Yaz would probably be looking forward to it because it's telling us something.
Yeah. Information.
Information.
Anytime I get changed, I'm going to change really quickly just in case someone's spying on me.
That's true. Never been.
Now it's like self-conscious
Never-
about it.
You're gonna be a never nude now.
There are dozens of us.
Oh, also, yeah, you guys would have had time to identify the shoes that you guys
Oh, I
found.
forgot the shoes. What the shoes?
They are shoes. Oh, they are boots of elven kind.
Oh, I know someone who would.
And you have your legend lore tag as well.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean,
These are on the corpse, weren't they? On a skeleton that was killed by the harpies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
just to get it out of the way, I think everyone's cool with Bailing taking out, considering he steals all the time for us. All
The
the
advantage
time.
of stealth is very good. Yeah.
I mean, it's that or the person who's worst at stealth, but
Yeah, but I feel like you're the person who actively goes out and stealths.
I mean, yeah, with your health, every bonus to stealth is as good as
You're gonna
you
be
can get.
such a good scout person now with that. You've got the aware thing, you've got the boots, and
Like, imagine if you were stealthing and you got caught by that the Bigfoot.
Oh Jesus!
You'd be dead.
Yeah,
He'd brain you.
Or you could give it to someone who's wearing heavy armor and undo the negative.
Yeah, but we have multiple people who have that. So
I
that's
understand.
the point. So.
Okay, yeah.
Cool.